Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Rouse Baseball's live commentary of the DuPont Professional Baseball League. Tonight, we are going to be bringing to you the Buffaloes and the Marines, as this game will take place in Chiba. It's opening day, or the home opener for the Marines. As yesterday, the game was washed out. The weather is not the best, nor is it in the Sendai region, where the game between the Lions and the Eagles has been postponed tonight, and they are still going to try to get that home opener off tomorrow. Well, we'll give you the starting lineups. First of all, from the visitors from Osaka, the Orix Buffaloes. And it'll be leading off tonight. And in right field, it'll be number 67, Kai Nakagawa. Batting second and playing in center field is number 65, Shuhei Fukuda. He's got himself a new number this year. Hitting third and left field is number 7, Ryoma Nishikawa. Batting in the cleanup spot and doing the designated hitting is number 99, Yataro Sugimoto. Batting fifth at shortstop is number 24, Kotaro Kobayashi. Batting in the sixth spot and playing first base is number 44, Yuma Tongu. Hitting seventh at second base is number 31, Ryo Oda. Batting eighth and doing the catching is number 2, Kenya Wakatsuki. And batting ninth and playing third base is number 5, Masahiro Nishino. And taking to the hill for the Marines tonight will be Yuji Nishino, who is making his first start of the 2025 campaign. Now your starting lineups for the home team, the Chiba Lotte Marines, leading off and in right field is number 25, Hiromi Oka. Batting second and in left field is number 6, Misho Nishikawa. Hitting in center field, batting third and playing in center field is number 38, Akito Takabi. In the cleanup spot and playing first base is number 99, Neftali Soto. Batting fifth and doing the designated hitting is number 22, Gregory Polanco. Batting sixth at second base is number 8, Shogo Nakamura. Hitting in the seventh spot and playing third base is number 43, Masumi Nishigaki. Batting eighth and doing the catching is number 27, Tatsuhiro Tamura. Batting ninth and at shortstop is number 4, Atsuki Tomosuji. And they are going to be facing from the Buffaloes tonight. It'll be Ryuhei Sotani, who takes to the hill. It'll be his first start tonight for the Buffaloes. We'll be back in just a couple of months. We appreciate everybody for being here. It is opening day from Chiba. The Lotte Marines are ready to go. We'll be right back after this.
Thank you for that introduction, Freddie. Hey guys, Steve coming back at you today. And every day is opening day on my channel. I open everything from hot sauce to beer to deviled eggs to Kansas soup to ravioli to sport card packs like you wouldn't believe. I open blasters of stuff. I open regular boxes of stuff. Speaking of hot sauce, I open hot sauce, which is often gifted to me from the community. I have it all. I open up Star Wars by the tons, including the Family Guy Star Wars. I have a bunch of wrestling that I do open. And I do non-sport cards like crazy. As you can see, we have it all. I even open Marvel. Tons and tons of Marvel cards. But you never know, on my channel, you just may have a little trouble with tribbles, too. Remember, opening day, every day. Thank you, Freddie. See you in the funny pages, guys.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Yuji Nishino taking to the hill here as he has completed his warm-up tosses for the Marines. We got Alex, we got Jimmy, and we got somebody else in here who we're not sure of, but we're welcoming you guys to the stream tonight. Here's the first pitch of the ball game, and it's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted up down the left field line. This ball could be trouble if it stays fair, but it is just going to hook foul. That is going to run the count quickly to 0-1. That would have been quite the start to the ball game. There is inclement weather in the area as the game, as we mentioned earlier tonight, between the Lions and the Eagles was postponed. I saw snow in the forecast in the Sendai region. This one here, it looks like there is a mist flowing as the fans are in their rain gear, and there's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-1. Kai Nakagawa has begun the season 3 for 12. He's got nothing on the slash line. Friend Alex says he broke a purple parallel recently. I'm not sure what that was, as there's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count goes to 1-2 on Nakagawa. Defensively tonight from the Marines from left to right field, Nishikawa is in left. The center fielder is Takabi with Oka in right. Around the horn from first to third. Soto is at first, Nakamura at second. The shortstop is Tomosuji. The third baseman is Nishigaki, as there is a split finger that is down, but the home plate umpire goes up with the right hand. And Nakagawa turns around and walks back to the third base dugout as he is gone for out number 1 here in the first inning. So 1 up and 1 away. And that is going to bring up the center fielder in Shuhei Fukuda. Just to finish off the Marines battery, it is Nishino pitching and Tetsuhiro Tamura behind the plate tonight. So 1 gone, and Fukuda stepping up. He's 1 for 5 on the season. He takes a first pitch fastball down for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. Fukuda wearing an unfamiliar number 65. If I remember correctly, he was number 1 last year. So here comes the 1-0 pitch as the right-hander again holds to the set, kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down, and now the count goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Buffaloes were 1-2 in their opening series, and the Marines had a surprising sweep of the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks in Fukuoka. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 2-1. And of course, that will be big news in Chiba, as were to be anywhere else, that the Buffaloes, or that the Marines, off to a great start here as that fastball catches the outside corner and it counts 2-2 to Fukuda. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As the right-hander ready to go again, he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses up and away. And the count now goes to 3-2. Our friend Philip is in the house. Phil Cantelan. Well, glad you could be here. He says, let's go Buffaloes. Going to need your help tonight here, Phil. As the 3-2 is on the way, it's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into left field. Backpedaling back, and underneath it is the left fielder Nishikawa, and he's going to make the catch. So the rookie is flashing the leather here for out number 2, and that is going to bring up the left fielder in Ryoma Nishikawa. Welcome everybody into the stream tonight. This was a bit of a last-minute stream. We were out of town on the last couple of days. I wasn't going to get a chance to do anything last night as I came back from Seattle, a couple of games, seeing the Mariners and the A's and the Mariners and the Tigers. And of course, a couple of games last night, the NPB got washed out. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So we didn't get an opportunity to call those. And then, of course, the games tonight were scheduled to day games. Got us all excited, as there is a breaking ball that catches the inside corner, and the count goes to 1-1. Brandon in the house tonight as well. And Phil says, also great to be here. We appreciate those who have jumped in with us tonight. As the 1-1 is on the way, it's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 1-2. It was bobblehead night in Seattle. It's a bobblehead series. They've changed the way they do it. Instead of giving out 30,000 bobbleheads, they give out 10,000 each night. And it was J-Rod bat flip bobblehead night, as there was a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 1-2. So I was at the game a couple of years ago, and we told the story about it on Ken Griffey. That was last year, Ken Griffey Jr. bobblehead night. As it's 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Nishikawa, as the right-hander holds to the set. Now delivers. Fastball misses down. It's now 2-2. And they had 2 variations of the bobblehead. And anyways, was standing in the outfield watching the pitching, or watching the pitchers warm up in the bullpen, and some fella came over from Texas and offered me for the bobblehead. And I'll finish this story after the next half inning as Nishikawa swings at a split finger pitch. He goes down on strikes for out number 3. And that's going to do it for the Buffaloes here on the top of the first. They go in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We're through a half inning. Your score is the Buffaloes 0, and the Marines coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with bottom of inning number 1 when we return after this, and we'll finish off that story about the bobblehead. Welcome back, everybody. We're moving to the bottom of the first inning. It is going to be Oka, Nishikawa, and Takabe to come to bat as the left-hander for the Buffaloes. Satani is getting himself warmed up here. We started telling a story the last half inning. I was telling a story about the Ken Griffey Jr. bobblehead. And so there were two different ones. There was a teal and a white one, and you could get one or the other. You didn't know which were going to get randomized when you came into the gates. And there was a fellow from Texas who was there. He was up with his girlfriend, and they flew up specifically, wanted to get the bobblehead, and he missed out on it. He came up to me and he asked me, he says, would you be interested in selling it? And I said, everything has a price. And he says, how about $20? And I go, well, that's not the price. So then he said, how about $50? I said, well, that would be the price. And we shook on it. And he got himself the Griffey Jr. bobblehead. And then, of course, his girlfriend came up and said, hey, I just got a bobblehead. And he says, well, I just bought it off of this guy. And I said, sorry, buddy, all sales final. And that was how I got rid of the Griffey. Well, last night, got the J-Rod as the first pitch is on its way to Oka, and it's a fastball that misses down. Anyways, I told the fella, or I posted up on Facebook on the marketplace. Somebody already offered me $60 for the J-Rod. And I said, well, hang tight. I'll get you the Raleigh next week too when I go down. So that breaking ball drops in for a called strike. Count is 1-1. So it looks like we're going to have a sale of a Raleigh and a Rodriguez. Not bad. Pays for my ticket, drive down, and maybe even a beer. But with beer prices at $17 a beer, might make it a little hard for that as that breaking ball swung on and fouled away. The count is 1-2. So 1-2 to Oka. Oka 5 for 7 to start the season. Had a great series against the Hawks. He has a homer and 6 runs batted in as he bats here against the lefty Satani, who kicks and delivers. Fastball that just misses inside, and the count now goes even at 2-2. So 2 strikes. So with that being said, we will be back on the airwaves again tomorrow. It looks like there'll be more action. So hopefully you guys can bounce in here with us again, as we will be back on again. Haven't decided if it'll be these same two teams. There was a breaking ball waved at and missed. And Oka is going to do a turnaround and head back to the dugouts. He's in the books for out number 1. That'll bring up the left fielder in Misho Nishikawa. Completely fooled was Oka, and he looked like he was way out on his front side. Just waved at the pitch as it went by. Here comes Nishikawa to the plate. The rookie, 3 for 13 to start the year. Rave reviews in the spring training about this player as he bats from the right side against the lefty, and he takes a first pitch fastball for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Now that the lights on and we're off to the races for real, we'll see how Nishikawa does perform as the lefty Satani kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats on the first base side. Defensively tonight for the Buffaloes from left to right field, Nishikawa's in left, the center fielder is Fukuda, the right fielder is Nakagawa. Around the horn from first to third, Tongu at first. Second baseman's Oda. Shortstop Kobayashi and the third baseman Nishino. With Sotani and Wakatsuki as the battery. As that fastball just misses inside, the count goes to 1-2 now on Nishikawa. Friend CV in the house tonight. Appreciate you. As CV says, if you're going to go to the Dodger Stadium, you're going to need to get a second mortgage. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count remains a 1-2. Phil says beer prices are ridiculous at the ballpark. So the 2 games in Seattle that I went to, I didn't get a beer. I didn't feel like one. But the fellows who I was with, one fellow had a beer and it was $17. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. As the lefty kicks and delivers, it's a breaking ball swung on and missed. And Nishikawa goes into the books. He's gone for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone here, and it's going to bring up the center fielder, Akito Takabe. So $17 for a beer. I got a serious problem with that. It was $16 for nachos. I got to say, the nachos were really good. But $10 to $12, probably more realistic. So this brings Takabe to the plate. He's 4 for 9 to start the year. No homers and 1 run driven in. Batting from the left side against the lefty Satani, who kicks and delivers. Breaking ball, take it for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Yeah, our friend CV says 17 bones. You can get one at the corner liquor store for a third of that. Fastball swung on and grounded foul. Count is now 0-2. $17 will get you a 6-pack. Actually, probably get you a 12-pack at the corner store, at the wherever else it might be. And Phil says Fenway is really overpriced as well. Here comes the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It's bounced in front of the plate. Fielded by the catcher at Tamura, who throws to first, Wakatsuki, who throws to first, but it's going to take the first baseman Tongu off the bag. That is going to bring the manager out of the Buffalo dugout, who wants to have this one looked at. I think that he really had to hold the ground. He had to pull Tongu off the bag on the throw. We're going to look to see if this is going to be the case once we get the reviews here, as the Buffaloes seem pretty confident that they're going to win this one. Other prices that were a little bit off the wall included $7 for a coffee. Let's see if Tonga was able to hold the bag. I don't know. Not on that angle. That's not going to change my mind. That was the original angle that we had. Still showing us from the same angle. They're going to have to give us something different. He had to come off the base. He caught the ball. When he came back down, the question is was he able to re-engage it? First base umpire didn't seem to think so. No matter how many times they show us the same angle, I don't think we're going to be able to make a determination if he was able to hold the bag. So honestly, unless the umpires have different angles, I don't think we're going to be able to see this either. CV says he's hoping to go to San Francisco for a game. Well, you might as well catch one in Sacramento too. If you can get a ticket, I guess there's only 14,000 seats there. So it was funny, after the game, a slice of pizza at the game, $12.79 for a slice of pizza. And driving home, stopped at a Winco. For those of you, I'm not sure if you got Wincos in your area. Stopped in at a Winco, was paying at the cash register, look up at the exit, and there you could get a piece of pizza for $1.25. So what do you want to pay? $1.25 at Winco or $12.79 there as well? Unbelievable. Well, we're still waiting on the umpires to make the return, but here they come now. And the call is going to be safe at first base. So the call is correct. Now the only question is how they're going to rule it. Will they rule out an error on the catcher because they should have been able to make that play? So we'll have to wait and see what the official scoring is there. It is going to bring Neftali Soto to the plate. For Soto, he is 3 for 12. He's got 2 homers and 2 RBIs, both solo shots in that series in Fukuoka. They're going to need Soto and Polanco to feed off one another this year if they're going to have success again, are the Marines. As the pitch is on the way, there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 1-1. A couple of things. I do think the Marines are going to win tonight. One of the other things is that we did not think the Marines were going to be as good this year. We thought they're on the decline, especially losing Roki Sasaki. I felt that they would be a team looking on the outs of the playoffs. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Fastball swung on and lifted foul over on the first base side, and the count now goes to 0-2 on Soto. But I do like the Marines. It's just I don't know if they've done enough to be able to keep their place in the top 3 in the Pacific League. The Fighters are on the way up. Hawks are treading water, maybe trending downward slightly. Here's the pitch on the 0-2. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded past the glove of the shortstop, Kirbiashi, into left field. So back-to-back base runners reaching base here as Soto has himself a single. Advances to Cabby over to second. Now it's going to bring Gregory Polanco to the plate. Phil says he's got the Buffaloes. I hope you're wrong. I had the Buffaloes actually to finish third this year. I did it on one of our previews. We had the first one. I think it's still going to be the Hawks when it's all said and done. 2 is going to be the Fighters still, and 3 is going to be the Buffaloes, and the Marines are going to fall out of the playoffs in 4th. But let's see what happens this year. There's a breaking ball to Polanco, and the count's 0-1. So the question from CV says, what team did Ichiro play for, and who did O play for? Ichiro played for the Orix Buffaloes, which was a merger between, the Orix Blue Waves, which was a merger. They eventually became the Orix Buffaloes. It was the Kintetsu Buffaloes and the Orix Blue Wave. So the Blue Wave played in Kobe at Hodomoto Stadium as that breaking ball misses down. It's 1-1. Redbeard said, I missed your prediction for this game. Yeah, this game here, I've got the Marines winning tonight. They're 3-0, and this is the home opener. So I think the Marines are going to take this one here tonight. After that, it's all up in the air. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on, lifted into center field, coming over and making the catch. Nice job there, moving to his right, Fukuda, as Polanco is going to be retired for the 3rd out of the inning. Well, no runs in the inning. The question is it 1 hit or 2 hits? Or was it an error? We're not sure because we haven't got the scoring yet. There was 2 runners left aboard. We're now through 1 complete. Your score is the Buffaloes 0 and the Marines 0. Stick around, everybody. The top of the second is just around the corner. We'll be back with you as we can. You are listening to live NPB commentary with Last Raps Baseball. Be sure to check out our podcast, The Japan Baseball Report, either on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to join our Facebook group as well. It is NPB Japan Baseball Report. Stay up to date with all the other followers who are a fan of the Japanese game. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be coming to bat here for the Buffaloes in their half of the second. Taro Sugimoto, Katara Kobayashi, and Yuma Tongu. That would be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. And the first pitch on the way is Sugimoto as a fastball swung on. It is popped up over on the right side. It's playable. It's in foul territory. And it is going to be hauled in by the first baseman, Soto, for the first out of the innings. So with 1 pitch, there is 1 away. And that is going to bring up the shortstop in Kataro Kobayashi. Well, for Kobayashi, he's started off pretty hot. He is 6 for 13. He's got no homers and no runs batted in yet. Chance to watch Kobayashi a bit in the exhibition season. He's got a little bit of a leg kick. He's really late in getting his foot down. We were saying, he reminds me a little bit of Kerry Carpenter, the Detroit Tigers. It's kind of what Judge does sometimes, where he gets his foot up and he's got this, all his weight is on the back side. As there's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike. Count is 1-1. Just a couple corrections in the last half inning. It was an error charged to the catcher Wakatsuki that allowed Takabe to reach base, so they did get a hit in the error. That fastball misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike here to Kobayashi. Right-hander ready to go again. He kicks and he fires. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. The count goes to 2-2. Yesterday, one of the things, Emerson Hancock, who was the former one of the Mariners at that game we were at yesterday, 39 pitches in the first inning, and he couldn't get out of the inning. 2-2 on the way. Fastball swung on it. It's going to be lifted into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. And that is going to be the first hit surrendered here by the starter, Nishino, for the Marines. And it'll be Kobayashi at first with 1 gone. It brings Yuma Tongu to the plate. So I mentioned 39 pitches in that first inning yesterday for Emerson Hancock. 2/3 of an inning, and after the game, it was announced that he was sent directly to AAA. Boy, you got to go down and work out some stuff. And we were watching him warm up before the game, and he was throwing a football around. He was doing stuff, and then he was doing some things that he was like throwing off on the run. And so whatever he was doing to get prepared for the game, I would strongly recommend to stop doing it because it was terrible. As that pitch was fouled away by Tongu. No balls and 1 strike. Tyler in the house here tonight. Welcome, Tyler. Great to have you with us. As it's no balls and 1 strike here to Yuma Tongu. And the pitch on the way is a breaking ball that just misses outside. Count goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes it is. Appreciate everybody who has checked in with us tonight. As I said earlier, it was a game we weren't really sure we were going to be on. But we suddenly decided that was the case. And again, it was a late decision as that pitch just misses on the inside corner. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Tongu. Other thing about the Buffaloes is they split their home dates between Osaka at the Kyocera Dome and at Hotomoto Field in Kobe. As the 1-2 is on the way, it's a breaking ball swung on. It's chopped slowly down the third base line. And it is going to roll foul, and the count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tyler says his Indians choked a 9th inning 1-run lead today to open the season at home. That's the Pittsburgh Pirates. I think it was Nick Gonzalez with the Pirates we were talking about the other day. Broke his ankle running out a home run. A home run trot, broke his ankle. There's a fastball swung on, grounded to third. They go to second for 1, back to first. It's going to be an inning-ending double play. It goes in the books as a 5-4-3 variety. And that is going to do it here for the Buffaloes. And inning number 2 as it erases Kirby-Ashe at second for the second out, and Tongu on the return leg. No runs, 1 hit in the inning, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We're going to the bottom of the second. It is the Buffaloes nothing, the Marines nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you guys. My friend CV says his Angels are 4-1. Enjoy it while you got it. Welcome back, everybody. Here we go for the bottom half of the second inning, and the first pitch delivered to Shogun Nakamura. This is down for ball 1. The count is 1-0. 19 pitches in the first inning for Ryuhei Satani. As the lefty kicks and delivers, there's a fastball that just misses inside. Count now goes to 2-0 on Nakamura. So 2 balls and no strikes. As the lefty delivers again, there's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count goes to 2-1 to Nakamura. Nakamura 0 for 5 to start the year, despite the fact that the Marines have been on fire as the pitch is swung on. It is a fastball lifted foul. Will be into the seats on the first base side of home plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. CV says the baseball card collector says that the sticks have to start going. Yeah, well, you know what? The Tigers were playing as we said yesterday, as it was the 2-2 on the way to Nakamura. He swings at it. He lifts this into deep left field, moving back on the warning track and making an over-the-shoulder catch as the left fielder Nishikawa, and that is going to retire Nakamura for the first out of the inning. So 1 guy on, and that is going to bring Masuni Nishigaki to the plate. CV says maybe they need to get the torpedo bats going. Completely ridiculous. If you're going to hit, you're going to hit. Alex says, thoughts on the torpedo bats? We were talking about it quite a bit yesterday, actually. Here comes the pitch. Breaking ball, I'll take it for a called strike. If it's a rule that Major League Baseball hasn't been tested on, if they are legal bats, then, hey, listen, some players can't hit. You got to try anything. There's a ground ball hit to shortstop, fielded on the backhand by Kirbiashi. He fires across. They're going to get Nishigaki on a ground out 6-3. That was a great play. Had to go deep into the 6 hole to field it on the backhand. Fires it across the diamond. And Nishigaki gone for the second out. I was told a story the other day. I said when I was in Florida, I did the umpire school at the Wendelstadt School a number of years ago. One thing that was apparent, the umpires would publicly state how they just didn't like the Yankees. I was rather kind of amazed by that because, most people, if you're not a Yankee fan, you kind of hate them. As there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and you'd think that the umpires who are supposed to be impartial would be impartial or diplomatic, and they were not because they felt that everything revolved around the Yankees. Fastball upstairs, and the count now goes to 1-1. And so when you see things like this, I don't know if if they would be legal. They seem to be legal. But I think MLB is going to have to chime in on some of this stuff. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Or if it's a loophole, I'm not sure. You're going to have to see that. But I think it is a topic of conversation. A lot of people aren't going to be happy with it. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 1-2. Especially when it's the Yankees. If it was the Colorado Rockies or if it was the, Kansas City Royals, I don't think there would be quite the spectacle that we're witnessing about this. CV says MLB said they're fine. That's what we're hearing. Fastball swung on, chopped over to first, fielded neatly by the first baseman Tongu. He'll step on the bag, and that's going to do it here for the Marines in their half of the second. They go quietly, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We're now moving to the top of inning number 3. Your score is the Buffaloes 0, the Marines 0. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after this.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the bottom third of the batting order, and that means it's going to be Oda, Wakatsuki, and Nishino to face the left-handed pitcher Nishino. That'll be interesting. We got two Nishinos to go head-to-head. I wonder when the last time that has happened. So Oda coming to bat here. He is 5 for 13 to start the year. He's got a homer and 4 runs driven in. Batting from the right side here. As the first pitch from Yuji Nishino ready to go. He kicks and he fires. It's a breaking ball swung on. It is taken on one hop by the shortstop Tomosuji, who fires to first. And with one pitch, we have one away on a ground out, 6-3. One gone here in the third, and that'll bring up the catcher in Kenya Wakatsuki. Wakatsuki has started the year a little bit rough, 1 for 9 at the plate, no homers and 1 RBI. He's been getting the nod. We were speculating before the season started that he's going to get a lion's share, so to speak, of the duties behind the dish. And I think that Tomoya Mori will catch, he'll DH. He'll try to get his bat in there in different ways. So it is Wakatsuki at the plate, and the pitch is a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Batting from the right side is the Buffalo catcher. He's got shin guard on his left leg. Buffaloes here batting in their half of the third inning as the right-hander Nishino kicks and fires. There's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike. The count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. Nice job receiving it there by the catcher Tamura. And then as I say that out of the mouth, he drops a fastball that might have been a strike for ball 2. It's a good frame, I should say, against his battery counterpart. Was able to get under the ball and be able to frame it well. So here comes the 2-1 pitch. Fastball swung on and grounded softly to third, picked up by the third baseman Nishigaki, who fires to first. It's going to be a ground out 5-3 to retire Wakatsuki for the second out of the inning and bring up the third baseman in Masahiro Nishino. Well, it's the Nishino versus Nishino battle. It's Masahiro, who is 2 for 4 at the plate. No homers and 1 RBIs as he is facing the other aforementioned Nishino. Here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So what do I think about these torpedo bats? I don't know. I think it's kind of gimmicky. It's kind of like the axe bat in some ways. Fastball swung on, grounded over to third, fielded on the run by Nishigaki. He fires and throws to first. That's going to be another quick inning. It's ground out 5-3 to end it. So they face the minimum, has Nishino through 3. Even though he's allowed to hit, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now moving to the bottom of the third inning. Your score is the Buffaloes 0 and the Marines 0. This game's got a little bit of pace to it. We'll be back in just a bit. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us tonight on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. We'll see you in a few.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. We're skipping to the bottom of the third inning here. It is going to be the 9, 1, and 2 hitters to come to bat for the Marines. Tomosuji, Oka, and Nishikawa come to bat here to face the lefty Satani, who's coming back out for his third inning of work. Satani at 31 pitches through his 2 innings, ready to face the right-handed hitting Tomosuji, who is 0 for 3 to start the year. First pitch on the way. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Friend Brandon Jensen says, good old Hollis. Yes, it is. That doesn't get old. Fastball swung on. It is lifted into right field. Moving over underneath it and making the catch is the right fielder Nakagawa, and that's going to retire Tomosuji for the first out of the inning. 1 up and 1 away. It's going to bring up Hiromi Oka to the plate. CV says, which team is Bauer with again? He's with Yokohama. We did the game on the weekend with him. But he is injured, and Bauer is going to miss time. Unfortunately for him, he has been deactivated off the roster. So it looks like, by the sound of it, it's going to be a couple of starts. Pitch is on the way. It is a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 1-0. Doesn't seem to be anything major. Oka 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out in his first at-bat. As he waits on the offering and the pitch is on the way, it's a breaking ball missing outside, and the count now goes to 2-0. Oka 5 for 8 on the season. As we said, he's got a homer and 6 runs batted in. Bauer, on top of that, they said away. We watched Bauer pitch that game the other night. Lost 1-0. He went 6. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 2-1. And my thoughts on it is that he wasn't the most sharp. And in fact, the inning that they got the run off it came with 2 outs. There was 2 outs. He walked the guy, gave up a hit, and then gave up another hit. And the next thing you know, they're down 1-0. And the Bay Stars couldn't score a run. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball that catches the outside corner. The count goes to 2-2. But where I thought that he didn't have command of his pitches as well as he should have, it is early in the year. He was implementing a quick pitch delivery. And I don't remember if he threw a single strike out of that. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fastball misses inside. It's now 3-2 to Oka. But for the most part, he was okay. He was good enough to win, but the pitcher for the Dragons was even a little bit more better. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. He was much better. So Bauer good enough to win. The other guy much better. No runs. There's a fastball that misses down and away. And Oka's aboard with a 1-out walk. And that is going to bring up the rookie in Misho Nishikawa. As I mentioned earlier in the stream, Nishikawa, he had himself a pretty good spring. Lots of positive stuff here for the outfielder as he's making his home debut in a regular season uniform. He was the first overall pick in the 2024 draft, or the first pick by the Marines, I should say. Breaking ball swung on and fouled into his legs. Yoyama Gakuen University. And he, a couple of weeks ago, just turned 22 years old. As that fastball made it 0-1 here to him. He's got one of his 3 hits have been for extra bases this year. As the lefty Satani holds set and delivers, there's a fastball swung on his grounded foul over on the third base side. The count's now 0-2. So it's interesting. We've seen a couple of rookies, a couple that stand out. The one for the Lions, Seiya Watanabe, I like the looks of him. He's the left fielder there. I was comparing Watanabe's physical physique to that of Seiya Suzuki. Very, very similar. As the 0-2 is on the way. And instead, nope, they throw over to first base, and diving back in time is the runner. So no balls and 2 strikes it is. Lefty on the hill. Getting his sign. Here comes the pitch. Yeah, the 0-2 is on the way. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Misho Nishikawa. On deck, it's Kido Takabe. As he waits his turn, we'll keep our eye on Oka. He can run a bit, but with the lefty on the mound, we'll see if he is going to hold his ground a little bit. Here comes the 1-2 pitch, and they throw over to first, and diving back in time is Oka. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lefty Satani getting a sign from his catcher Wakatsuki. He holds set. And here comes the pitch. Breaking ball swung on, grounded to the left side. Fielded by the third baseman, and he fires it into right field. Nishino had fielded it, and advancing over to third is going to be Oka. Nishikawa is going to be safe at first on the air. That's going to go in the books as E5. No, I'm not sure what he was doing. He had plenty of time to get the lead out. We got to look at the replay again. It was chopped into the 6 hole. It was like he threw on the brakes, and then when he threw it, it was like he was moving backwards toward the outfield side. Ended up throwing it onto the side of the infield at second base, and it went beyond the second baseman, Oda, into right field. So now they got runners on the corners, and each team, that's the second error actually made today by the Buffaloes. So they've got the infield in here in this one as it brings Akito Takabe to the plate. Kabe reached on an error his first time up. He's 4 for 10 on the season. So Marines looking for first blood here, where they could have been out of the inning a moment ago, the Buffaloes being. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. So some suspect defense. Ronald Rump says, good early morning from Texas, y'all. Commentary is amazing. We appreciate you for being here. We're glad that you could make it in here with us as well. So 1 ball and no strikes to the left-handed hitting Takabe. Satani holds set, and he's ready to go. Here comes the pitch. Squaring to bunt. It's a bit of a safety squeeze. It gets back to Satani. His only play is going to be to first, and it's going to cash a run in. So that's going to be a sacrifice. It's going to be on the putout, 1-4. It retires Takabe for the second out of the inning. He gets himself an RBI, and it's going to bring home Oka, and it's going to advance Nishikawa over to second. And now the Marines have an early 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the third. Interesting. Satani, when he throws, he does fall off to his glove side, and the lefty falling to the third base side. The bunt was down. It wasn't maybe the best of bunts, but it was to the pitcher's throwing hand side, and he had to come back to it, field it, and he had no chance for the runner at home. I think he might have if he was in a better fielding position. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on and missed by Neftali Soto, and the count is quickly 0-1. Soto singled his first time up. He's now 4 for 13 on the year, batting .308. Still has those 2 homers and 2 RBIs. Soto waggling the bat here, waiting on the offering from the lefty, who checks the runner at second base, and now he checks him again and now kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses up and away. Count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Marine fans are into it already here as they are showing a lot of life. They're bounding up and down. That's the one thing, Chiba, they do have excitement. There's a breaking ball that's waved at and missed. Count now goes to 1-2 on Soto. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Soto batting here with the runner at second base, and 2 gone here in the bottom of the third inning. Marines have drawn an early 1-0 lead. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Satani kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count goes to 2-2. Good job by Soto to hold up on that. So Satani ready to go back to work again. Runner at second, and Ishikawa establishes his lead. Lefty again working to the set position. Here comes the pitch. He kicks and fires. It's a fastball down. Nice stop there by Wakatsuki. It runs the count to 3-2. You do have the open base at first base, but I don't think you want to put Soto aboard. You do have Gregory Polanco waiting on deck. He was able to get out of it the last time, but you're playing with fire with this part of the batting order. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Satani delivers. Fastball swung on, lifted into deep left center field, but with room to make the catch. Oh, it almost got over his head. He had to do a turn, was Fukuda. He's able to haul it in. The wind is playing a little bit of havoc in the air there in Chiba, as it sometimes can do, but making the catch for the third out of the inning is Fukuda, and that will do it here. Well, they got a run in the inning, did the Marines, on the benefit of no hits. There was an error, and there was one runner left aboard. We'll be back in just a couple moments. We appreciate you guys for being with us. Your score as we go to the top of the fourth. It's the Marines 1 and the Buffaloes no score. We'll be back in just a little bit with all the action. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us tonight on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and the support you give to our channel. In turn, we support Steve Rademacher. Be sure to check him out after the ball game, as he's got all kinds of wild and crazy stuff. It is going to be coming to bat here at the top of the order, Kai Nakagawa, who took a first pitch fastball inside, and then Fukuda and Nishikawa to follow, as that fastball swung on and is popped up foul over on the first base side, and the count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Nakagawa. Nakagawa struck out his first time up, 3 for 13 to start the year for the right-handed hitting right fielder of the Buffaloes, as there is a fastball that is swung on and missed. Count now goes to 1-2. Nakagawa has had the opportunities to play in center field, but he kind of struggled a bit last year. Fastball misses down, and the count goes to 2-2. But he was a big part of the offense in the 2023 campaign when the Buffaloes had got back to the Japan series. 2-2 on the way. Fastball swung on, ripped into right center field. This ball is going to get down for a base hit, as it is fielded by the right fielder, Oka. And that will be a second hit of the ball game here for the Buffaloes. I have to tell you, just watch that play there. The center fielder for the Chiba Ball Club, which would be Akito Takabe, ball got hit to right field. He was racing over to cover. I was at that game yesterday between the Mariners and the Tigers, and I have to tell you, the Mariner defense was absolutely painful to have to watch in real time. Julio Rodriguez, Randy Arozarena, absolutely. I couldn't remember a time that they actually did cover. Victor Robles out there in right field He'd come in to try to dive to make a catch. He didn't get there. He didn't catch it, but did catch it on the trap as that fastball misses outside to Fukuda. And J-Rod didn't even move. So it's good to see in the Japanese league that the players are still exhibiting good fundamentals and the way that they play their baseball, that's for sure. So here comes the 1-0 pitch as Fukuda waits. He squares to bunt, and that is a fastball that misses up and away. Count now goes to 2-0 on Fukuda. So 2 balls and no strikes. Alex says, so glad that I don't know if he was traded. I thought he was picked up off the scrap heap of the waiver pile. He was a player that they definitely, so the ball's bunted down the first baseline. It is fielded by Soto. He applies the tag. It looked like it was going foul, but he ends up getting the tag applied to Fukuda. We'll get a look at it from a different angle here. No, a nice play by Soto. He fielded it and applied the tag to the runner. Should have been probably, kind of arguably been ruled out of the base path. I know you create your own for a little bit, but he was outside the running lane. But regardless, it's a sacrifice to 3 for the first out of the inning. It advances Nakagawa over to second, and it brings Nishikawa to the plate. Nishikawa 5 for 13, coming off an absolutely horrendous spring training. The first pitch fastball is swung through and missed, and the count is 0-1. Back to that Robles comment for a minute. Our friend Alex says he hardly did anything for us. Robles actually had a pretty good start with the Mariners last year. He really infused a lot of offense into their game, but he was a top prospect for quite a while with the Nationals who didn't do a darn thing. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's a fastball that misses outside, and the count goes to 1-1. But the Mariners, I believe, upped them for a year or 2 years because he showed in a very short period of time the potential that the Washington Nationals were trying to unlock. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get enough done. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball swung on. This ball's lined into left field. It's down for a base hit. And stopping at third is going to be the runner Nakagawa. It's a single for Nishikawa. That puts runners at the corners. The Buffaloes have something brewing here as Yutaro Sugimoto comes to the plate. So Sugimoto 0 for 1 tonight. He popped out his first time up. The catcher Tamura comes out and he's going to flash the first and third defense signs. Sugimoto now 3 for 12 on the young season. Homer and 3 RBIs. This is a turning point moment right now, I would say, for the Buffaloes here. They get a base hit, score a run, and they got a chance for a big inning. Of course, a rollover here could end it. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball drops in for a called strike at the count 0-1. Some noticeable differences physically here. Sugimoto, we had noticed in one of our earlier streams, he's lost some weight. Slimmer, trim Yutaro Sugimoto. I don't know, maybe it's because he's wearing his socks up a little higher, but he certainly is noticeably different in his weight. Fastball just misses down and away, and the count is 1-1. We also talked about Trevor Bauer being in much better physical shape. They said he's lost like 20 or 25 pounds. He said he's about the size he was during his rookie year. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Sugimoto. He steps out and asks for time. As the right-hander is ready to deliver, here comes the pitch. Fastball swung through and missed. The count now goes to 1-2 on Sugimoto. Like Sugimoto wanted to put 3 on the board with that one swing. Nice pitch there by Nishino as he buried that pitch into the dirt. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. Keep your eye on the runner Nishikawa here as the catcher, again, Tamura has flashed the signs. And the 1-2 is ready to come here as Nishino holds set. He kicks and fires. Breaking ball swung on, popped up over on the right side again. Moving over underneath it is the second baseman Nakamura as he calls off Soto, and he's going to make the catch. So it's going to be a pop-up to 4 for the second out of the inning, and it's going to leave it all up to the shortstop, Kotaro Kobayashi. Well, for Kobayashi, he's 1 for 1 tonight. He singled his first time up, but he was erased by a double play ball. So Kobayashi strides in. He is 7 for 14 on the young season. Nothing across the slash line yet. So if you're going to get his base hits or you're going to get a hit, this would be the time to do it. Here comes the pitch. Fastball swung on, grounded to the left side, knocked down by the shortstop. A beautiful play to knock it down by Tomosuji, but they're not going to be able to get anybody or anyone. That's going to be a single and an RBI for Kobayashi. It's going to bring home Nakagawa with the tying run, and it advances Nishikawa over to second. So the score line is now evened up at 1, and it'll bring up the first baseman in Yuma Tongu. So the Buffaloes are showing signs of life here. So runners at first and second. Tongu at the plate, and the first pitch is a fastball swung on. It is lifted into shallow left center field. Moving over underneath it, now having to back up and fighting the wind is the center fielder, and that is going to be Takabe, who hauls it in for the third out of the inning. But the Buffaloes get one back in the inning. They had 1 run on the benefit of 3 hits. There was no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. We are now moving to the bottom half of inning number 4. Your score is the Buffaloes 1, the Marines 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a bit. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Slated to come to bat for the Marines is Gregory Polanco, Shogo Nakamura, and Masumi Nishigaki. You face the left-hander Ryuhei Sotani, who will begin his 4th inning of work. Sotani, 51 pitches through the first 3 innings, not the most economical effort we have seen from the left-hander, but he has been able to hold the Marines to only 1 run here tonight. And that brings Polanco to the plate. For Gregory Polanco, 0 for 1 tonight. He flew to center his first time up. 4 for 13 to start the year with no homers and a couple RBIs. I think from the left side against the lefty who delivers, there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1. Love it that they're not afraid to play lefties against lefties. Is a big fan of mine here. Let them play. They got to be able to see them to be able to hit them. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. And now Polanco has asked for time as he steps out, and we're going to reset ourselves and do it again. So here comes the 1-1 pitch as Sotani holds set, now delivers. Fastball swung on it. It's ripped foul over on the first base side. The count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Polanco way out in front that time there. So 1-2 is the count. The crowd is cheering as they are in full voice yet again. The 1-2 on the way is a fastball that misses outside. Count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the lefty Satani working again. They've got Polanco set up away. The 2-2 on the way. Fastball swung on, grounded to the right side, fielded neatly by the second baseman Oda, who throws to first. And Polanco is in the books on a ground out, 4-3. He's gone for out number 1, and that'll bring up the second baseman in Shogo Nakamura. So for Nakamura, he comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He has flown to left field. And his only trip to the plate, 0 for 6 to start the year. As the lefty Satani kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner, and the count is 0-1. No longer the captain of the Marines, as he bats here from the right side. And the pitch is on the way. There's a fastball that swung on, and it's grounded foul over on the third base side. And the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Lefty holds to the set, does Satani, and he's ready to go. Here comes the pitch. Kicks and fires. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is chopped back to the mound. Satani fields it. He throws to first. It's in the dirt, but a nice play there by the first baseman, Tongu, to dig it out. It's going to go as a ground out, 1-3 for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone, and it brings up the third baseman, Asumi Nishigaki. Or Masami Nishigaki, I should say. And the first pitch from Satani ready to come as he kicks and delivers. Fastball misses upstairs for ball. Count is quickly 1-0. Last pitch was at 91 miles an hour. So 1 ball and no strikes. Lefty ready to go again. Kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on it. Is lined into left field. It's going to get down, and it's going to get all the way to the wall. Going in after it is Nishikawa. He comes up firing, but sliding into second with a 2-out double is Nishigaki as he picks up his 3rd hit of the season. And he is aboard at second with 2 gone, and that'll bring up the catcher in Tetsuhiro Tamura. Well, Tamura comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1 tonight. Grounded out to first is first time out, or first time up. 1 for 4 on the early season. See, always hard to get the elusive third out. The pitcher Satani did have a 1-2-3 inning in the second inning. The pitcher Nishino for the Marines has had 3 tonight, although 1 was unconventional. There's a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count is 1-0 to Tamura. Tamura getting the start tonight, or the nod today, over Sato. Interesting how they have chose to deploy their players, especially on opening day. I would have thought that there would have been a couple other regulars in the lineup. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 2-0. No Yudai Fujioka tonight. So 2 balls and no strikes it is here to Tamura. They do have first base open, but one would think they want to attack the hitters here. Here comes the 2-0. Breaking ball, that just misses upstairs, and the count goes to 3-0. Waiting on deck is Itsuki Tomosuji, who is the 9-hole hitter. So we'll see how this one plays out here. 3 balls and no strikes to Tamura. One would think he is going to be taking all the way. As Satani holds to the set, here comes the pitch. Fastball catches the inside corner, and the count now goes to 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike. It's one of my favorite things in the Japanese game, how the pitchers will throw in front of their dugout. They're already pretty loose. Let's get on the mound and let's get going. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. And there is a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count goes full now to 3-2. So it looked like it might be an easy inning here for Satani, the way it started with a couple of quick groundouts. Double to Nishigaki, and now a full 2 count here to Tamura. It's made him have to work a little bit. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. As he holds set. Now kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and missed. The catcher, Wakatsuki, holds it up for all to see, and that is going to do it. That is the 3rd out of the inning. And by our accounts, that is going to be the 3rd strikeout of the night for Satani. No runs in the inning. There was a hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We're now through 4 complete. Your score is the Buffaloes 1 and the Marines 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit with all the action. Appreciate you guys for checking in with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after these. You are listening to live NPB commentary with Last Raps Baseball. Be sure to check out our podcast, The Japan Baseball Report, either on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to join our Facebook group as well. It is NPB Japan Baseball Report. Stay up to date with all the other followers who are a fan of the Japanese game. Welcome back, everybody. Yuji Nishino is just completing his warm-up tosses, and he's going to be facing the bottom 3rd of the batting order for the Buffaloes, which means Oda, Wakatsuki, and Nishino. So far, 1 run, 4 hits, 2 errors by the Buffaloes. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors for the Marines in this one. Home opener for the Marines, as yesterday's home opener was washed out. 5 for 14 to start the year is Oda. As the first pitch on the way is a breaking ball that just misses down and away, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes. Our friend Caden says he needs 6 runs. Is that 6 for the total? Or 6 for one of these teams? As that fastball misses down and away, the count goes to 2-0. For some reason, I just don't know if these teams can produce those kind of numbers tonight. It's raining. It's not comfortable. Breaking ball misses down. They go to the first base umpire, but they say that Oda didn't go. Now runs the count to 3-0. Some ways, the way that they made errors earlier on, you're thinking, well, the conditions are going to be rough. Maybe we'll see more of that. Maybe, but it really didn't produce any runs, as there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. It's now 3-1 to Oda. So 3 balls and 1 strike as the right-hander delivers. There's a breaking ball missing down. It's going to be ball 4. A leadoff walk here to Oda. That's going to bring up the catcher in Kenya Wakatsuki. So I'll start putting some dollars to donuts down here. I think that Wakatsuki's going to square to bunt. He did have the team lead last year for the Buffaloes. I do believe that that will be what they're going to employ him to do, but we'll have to see. Wakatsuki's 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded to 3rd his first time up. He's 1 for 10 on the season, which leads me to believe he will be squaring here. And sure enough, he's already in a position, and the pitch is a breaking ball that misses up and in. Count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Kenya Wakatsuki. Michigan Made, he says, who is at bay or at bat? I like that. Michigan Made. That's a pretty good handle there. Great Lakes State. 1 ball and no strikes. Buffaloes are up to bat. It is in the top of the 4th, and that ball is bunted foul down the first base line. Count is 1-1. Got a chance to cheer on my Detroit Tigers yesterday in Seattle. I say yesterday. I guess it is yesterday now if you're still on the West Coast. It would have been Monday. Yesterday, kind of a neat feat. Casey Mize started for the Tigers. He gave up the first hit of the game to Victor Robles. And then the Mariners got no hit the rest of the way. Only 1 hit allowed. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Wakatsuki as he is batting here against the right-hander Nishino, who works himself to the set position. Pitch on the way. It is bunted, and this time it's down. It's a good one. Fielded by Nishino. He throws to first. Wakatsuki does his job. That's a sacrifice, 1-4, as it goes into the books. Wakatsuki gone for the first out of the inning. It advances Oda over to second. That is going to bring up the third baseman, Masahiro Nishino, to the plate. Well, for Nishino, as he strides to the plate, he is 2 for 4. With the runner at second base and 1 gone. Batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Nishino. Hit pitches and delivers. Breaking ball misses inside. In the first battle of the Nishinos, the pitcher, Yuji Nishino, got the win as Masahiro Nishino of the Buffaloes grounded out to third. This is round 2 of the Nishino battle tonight. There's the 1-0 pitch. There's a fastball swung on it. Is grounded over to short. Fielded neatly by the shortstop, Tomosuji, who throws to first. It's going to be a ground out 6-3. It did move the runner, Oda, along over to third. So he's at third with 2 out, and that'll bring up the top of the order in Kai Nakagawa. Well, for Nakagawa, he is 1 for 2 tonight. He scored the only run of the Buffaloes as he was brought home on an RBI single off the bat of Kotaro Kobayashi in the last inning. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0 to Nakagawa. So 1 ball and no strikes. We're in the top of the 5th inning. One game here between the Buffaloes and the Marines. So here comes the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball that catches the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. We will be back on the airwaves again tomorrow night, as there is early action in the NPB. Although I'm a little mixed if which game that will be that I'm going to do. I might consider doing the Golden Eagles and the Lions. There's a fastball swung on it. Is lifted foul down the right field line. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Haven't quite decided what that will look like tomorrow. As I mentioned, that game in Tohoku was rained out again. They've got the early one. I say rained out. It might have been snowed out. They were calling for snow, and there's a breaking ball that is swung on and missed, and that is going to retire Nakagawa, and that is going to do it here in the 5th inning for the Buffaloes. Well, they threaten, but they don't score. They leave a runner at third. There was no runs in the inning. There were no hits, no errors. There was 1 runner left. We're moving to the bottom of the 5th inning. Your score is the Marines 1 and the Buffaloes 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a bit with all the action. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us tonight on the Last Rounds Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Ryohei Satani who is coming back out for his fifth inning of work. The lefty is going to be entrusted to face the 9, 1, and 2 batters in the Marine batting order. That means Tomosuji, Oka, and Nishikawa. And so Tomosuji is standing in. He's 0 for 1 tonight, 0 for 4 to start the season. As the lefty Satani delivers, it's squaring to bunt, and pulling back is Tomosuji, and the count is quickly 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Satani again ready to go as the lefty holds himself to the belt, and now here comes the pitch. He kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on, it is popped up foul. It's going to reach the seats behind home plate. And the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. Our friend CV says he's still here. Well, we appreciate you for being here, CV. Great to have you with us tonight. I just got to get an excuse to get down to see you again. Or did I say again? But I guess it would be again, but to see you down in California as that breaking ball's swung on and missed. I'd like to see the Angels. I don't think it's going to happen this year. I already got 2 games under the belt. I'll be back in Seattle next week to see the Astros. And then it'll be a couple of weeks after that, I'll be in Detroit to see the Padres. There is a fastball swung on it. Is lined down the left field line. It's going to get into the corner, and it's going to be extra bases. Rounding second and holding at second now is Tomosuji with a stand-up double. And so he is aboard here, and that will bring up the top of the order in Hiromi Oka. So should have 4 games under my belt by the 21st of April. That would be kind of cool. And then after that, I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to get to anything else outside of the Seattle area this year, and then probably catch about 4 or 5 games in the Taiwanese League toward the end of August. So we're going to have probably a double-digit amount of games again this year. Looking forward to that. So here's Oka, who steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He has walked and scored the only run for the Marines, taking a breaking ball over for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. As we say, we appreciate everybody who does come to listen with us live. I think it's been 2 summers ago, I think, the last time that CV was in the house. As the left-handed pitcher is going to swing and miss, or left-handed delivery swings and misses by Oka. It's 0-2. I say he was up in the Vancouver area. We caught up for a coffee. I'll try to do the same thing again, this time in Southern California, but get a little sticker shock going into the States in certain spots. Certainly, we were talking about the baseball game earlier. Unbelievable pricing. Here's the 0-2. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses upstairs. They appeal to the third base or first base umpire, and they say Oka went around. He's in the books for out number 1, and that'll bring up the left fielder in Mishu Nishikawa. Yeah, I couldn't hold up, could Oka. It was a good call by the umpires. Puts him away for the first out of the inning. So the lefty Satani ready to go again. He is facing Nishikawa, who is 0 for 2 tonight. He's reached on an error and struck out. There is a fastball that is swung on, almost takes the head of the pitcher off, right up the middle. Tomosuji rounds third, and he's going to have to throw on the brakes. That's going to put runners on the corner. Oh, what a swing there by Nishikawa. Great job of staying inside the baseball. And just about took the head off of the pitcher, Satani. That'll clear your sinuses. Satani couldn't quite get the glove up in time. If he could have got his glove up there just a little bit quicker, might have been able to have made that play. But a good swing there by the rookie left fielder of the Marines. Puts runners at the corners. Also going to bring the pitching coach out to the mound to have a few words with his starter, as he's going to be facing Takabe here, probably also defensively with the runners on the corners. Talking how they're going to handle this situation. Got to keep your eye on Nishikawa. It may put him in motion to try stay out of the double play. Buffaloes again have the defense in. Takabi tonight officially 0 for 1. He had reached on an error by the catcher his first time up. He had a sacrifice squeeze bunt. So we're exactly in the same position right here. With one gone and runners on the corners, it was a safety or sort of a safety squeeze by Takabi, as he was able to get the job done on the bunt his last time. And now they throw over to first base, and diving back in time is the runner Nishikawa. So runners on the corners as the lefty works himself to the set. Here comes the offering as he checks the runner at first, now delivers. There's a fastball that just misses outside. The count is 1-0. I'm not sure where that pitch missed. I have to say, I've been a little confused on the umpire strike zone tonight, but the one thing when you're watching games, the camera angle at Chiba is off center. And sometimes it's a little more off center than you would expect. Makes it a little bit difficult to be able to see where the balls and strikes may be. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses down, and the count now goes to 2-0 on Takabi. If you just joined us, Marines and Buffaloes, bottom of the fifth. Runners are at the corners. Tomosuji's at third, Nishikawa's at first. It's 2 balls and no strikes here to Takabi with 1 gone. So here comes the offering from the left-hander Satani as he works to the set. Lots of wind going on. Breaking ball swung on and tapped foul on the first base side of home plate. The count goes to 2-1. Yeah, lots of stuff there. David Saito says, how can I watch this on a live stream? That's a great question. And Christopher Deaton in here says, hello, friends. Welcome. It's a great question because the question that we have to ask you is where are you located? And then maybe we can help you out. Caden says, y'all think I can get 6 runs? No, not tonight. Fastball swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 2-2 on Takabi. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 gone here, runners on the corners. David says he's in Jersey. Well, where you can get it in Jersey will be a little tougher to get. We'll talk about it as we go. We're not going to disrupt the continuity. You're in a really good part of the ball game here. We'll give you some information, David. So just stick around and listen up. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. The count remains at 2-2. If you got your wallet handy, you can go spend a little bit of money and you can watch it Pacific League TV online, or possibly if you've got Amazon Prime Japan, you can watch it there. You can also watch it sometimes on Yahoo Sports Japan, but you're going to have a VPN for those. But they don't play all the games. There's the 2-2 pitch coming up here. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. And that is going to retire the batter here. And that will retire Takabi on strikes. He's gone. First base was occupied. Pitch wasn't caught cleanly. Takabi in the books for the second out of the inning, and that's going to bring up Neftali Soto to the plate. So says Tanny trying to wiggle himself out of this jam here. Our friend Michigan Maid says he's in Pontiac. Caden says he is too. I'll be in the Motor City in about 19 days. Looking forward to seeing the Tigers and the Padres. Spent a lot of time back at the corner of Michigan and Trumbull years ago when it was Old Tiger Stadium. Here comes Neftali Soto to the plate. Soto is 1 for 2. A single and 2 trips. He has flown to center field. As the lefty delivers, there's a fastball swung on. It is lifted foul down the right field line. The count is 0-1. Marines here try to push another run across the plate as they do have them runners at the corners. Soto 4 for 14 to start the early season as he is looking to had the totals here for the Marines. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Fastball just misses inside, and the count goes even to 1-1. Pontiac, Michigan, of course, was the longtime home of the Pontiac Silverdomes. A lot of games there. Went to the 94 World Cup soccer, had season tickets for 5 years. The Detroit Lions, I think I gave them up at the end of the 98 season, which I think was Barry Sanders' last. There is a fastball that swung on and missed, and the count goes to 1-2. I forget, we were section 333 in the upper level. Lots of fun going to see the Lions play. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Runner at third is Tomosuji. Runner at first is Nishikawa. Our friend Jason is in the house. He says Buffaloes are going to win. I'm not so sure about that. So here comes the 1-2, but instead Satani steps off and goes to the rosin bag. Our friend Michigan Made said, yeah, it was demolished in recent years. They were talking about putting a soccer team in there. They've talked about a lot of stuff, and I guess now it's, I'm not even sure what it is. There's a fastball that misses down. There goes the runner down to second. They got the runner hung up between home and or first and second. Now they throw home. The play at the plate is the throw-in time. Yes, it is. Then they apply the tag, and Tomosuji is going to be retired for the third out. And that is going to do it here. Well, Soto will lead off in the 6th inning when he comes back to bat. But that is going to retire Tomosuji at the plate. And it is going to go into the books. Kind of difficult. Probably 2-6 to 3-4 to 2 on the putout. That's how we're going to stick by it. And that will be it for Tomosuji here. He's gone for the third out of the inning. No runs in the inning, 2 hits, no errors. And there was 1 runner left to board. We're now through 5. Your score is the Buffaloes 1 and the Marines 1. For those of you who haven't been around so much, we like to call this Japanese halftime. I'm going to be back in just a few. Got to put the music on loop. I get a chance to refresh my drink, and we'll be back for the back half of this one in just a bit. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We are just starting the top of the 6th inning. It is going to be Fukuda, Nishikawa, and Sugimoto to come to bat for the Buffaloes. As the first pitch delivered to Fukuda was a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. 65 pitches through the first 5 innings for the right-hander Nishino as he's ready to go back to work again. And he kicks and fires. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 1-1. Fukuda is 0 for 1 tonight. He's flown to center, and he's had a sacrifice bunt in his 2 trips. Pitch on the way is a breaking ball missing down, and the count now goes to 2-1. So we say we do appreciate everybody who's popped into the stream tonight. Our friend Michigan Made said it's currently an Amazon warehouse in the place of the Silverdome. Yeah, it was too bad. There's a fastball ticket for a called strike. The count now goes to 2-2. Many big moments there. Probably the biggest game that I ever saw. There's a few games that I remember at old Silverdome for. Fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 2-2. The game that Barry Sanders had went over 2,000 yards. And not only that, as Barry Sanders went over 2,000 yards, I think it was Reggie Brown, the linebacker, had broke his neck and almost died on the field. That was against the Jets. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats down the left field line. Another great game at the Silverdome was the Los Angeles Raiders and the Lions. And it was back-to-back kickoffs were returned for touchdowns. It was an unbelievable start to the game, or pretty close to it. Fastball swung on and grounded over to first. Fielded neatly by Soto. He's going to win the race to the bag, and that is going to retire Fukuda on a ground out to 3 for the first out of the inning. So 1 gone. It'll bring up the left fielder in Ryoma Nishikawa. Sandra Hasty said, "Where's the game?" Just patience there, Sandro. And we're glad you could be in here with us. Hopefully you stuck around. And Christopher Deaton, while we appreciate the compliments, we're only as good as our last game. So if we're pretty good, then maybe we're only pretty good for that one. There's a ground ball that squeaks through the glove of the second baseman, Nakamura. It's not going to be an error. It's going to be a base hit here for Nishikawa. It's going to be his second hit of the ball game, and boy, has he ever caught fire after absolutely stinking it up in the exhibition play. There was talk about them sending him down, not even starting with the first team. And now with that hit, it's his second of the ball game. He is 7 for 15 to start the year. And really, at the end of the day, this is where it all matters. Caden says he's so mad that he took the over on the 5.5. Is it still doable? No, I don't think so. I hope it hits for you. You never want to predict ill will, of course, as there's a breaking ball that misses and the count is 1-0. You know, sometimes the weather conditions in these games just play their part, and it's windy. It was at the beginning of the game. It was drizzly. It was misty. It looks like the rain has subsided. I don't think the wind has. Sometimes you get the center field camera. It's like it's blowing around. 1-0 on the way. It's a breaking ball. It's taken for a called strike. The count now goes even to Sugimoto at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Marines in their home whites with the traditional black pinstripes. Buffaloes are in their dark road uniforms on the top, and they got their white pants. As here comes the 1-1 pitch. And they throw over to first base, and getting back in time is the base runner. The Warren, the DMV says, hopefully not. I took the under. Yeah, I think the under is a better position than the over in this one here. And just like tomorrow, if you're looking at that Eagles game, I would probably do the under as well there. They throw over to first base, and diving back in time is Nishikawa. Then he would apply the tag. That's the one thing. You throw over to first base, it really takes it out of the legs of the runner. Having to dive back every single time. You got to get up, do it again, do it again. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. As it is a fastball that comes inside, and it looks like it was fouled off. Fell off the end of the bat. Drew Benitez, or if I've said that correctly, says, who wins, do you think? Well, if you go to our community page, you'll see who we think will win. We put up our picks today. Won't do them every day this year, but we'll try to do as much as we can. We didn't do yesterday as I was out of town, but we did do the picks for today's game, and I've got the Marines winning today. It's their home opener as the fastball is swung on. This ball is lifted into right field and right on cue. This ball could be trouble. Back to the warning track, and it's off the glove as the right fielder slips to the ground, and that is going to bring a runner over. Actually, it's just going to bring the runner into second base. Unbelievable. The runner Nishikawa had to stop, hold up, because he thought that the ball was going to be made, or the catch was going to be made. The right fielder was racing in to get the ball. That was Hiromi Oka. And as he got to the warning track, it looked like he had just slipped. It looked like he caught his cleat or whatever. He went down onto his back. The ball ended up getting away. And they're very fortunate that the runner Nishikawa didn't get more than just one base. To see what Nishikawa was thinking out of that, and especially because the ball, after it hit the wall, ended up bouncing away. But I think they're going to rule that as a single for Sugimoto, and it's going to advance Nishikawa on a base. We're going to have to see if that's exactly what it was or not. But 77 pitches now here for Nishino. Should have 2 outs. Now he's got runners at first and second with 1 gone, and it's going to bring Kotaro Kobayashi to the plate, who's swinging hot stick. He's 2 for 2 tonight. He's driven in the Buffaloes' only run. So as the right-hander holds to the set, and there is a split-finger pitch that swung on and missed. Count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Here in the top of inning number 6, Buffaloes are threatening here. And here comes the 0-1 pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into shallow center field. Moving under, now moving back and making the catch is the center fielder Takabe. Tagging at second, advancing over to third is Nishikawa, and that's going to put runners at the corners with 2 gone. That's going to leave it all up to the first baseman, Yuma Tongu. Well, for Tongu, he's had a rough night at the plate tonight. He's grounded into a double play, and he's flown to center. 4 for 12 now to start the year. Well, he's got a chance here to drive home the second run of the ball game, or maybe more for the Buffaloes. So the runner at third, Nishikawa, runner at first, Sugimoto. There is 2 gone here in the 6th inning. Trying to get an update on the scoring on Sugimoto's ball that he put in play, if they ruled that an error or not. Still haven't got the answer on that one yet. And the official score said they ruled it a hit. So that is it's like the 6th hit. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed by Tongu. Tongu tried to turn that one around. He would have put that in the seats. It would have been a 3-run shot. 80 pitches now here for the starter Nishino. So no balls and 1 strike. Tongu with that open stance, hands extended away from his body, waiting here on the offering. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses down and away, and the count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. We were looking at the perspective for tomorrow night on who we would look to call. We were mentioning that earlier. And we were kind of leaning towards the earlier game between the Eagles and the Lions, as there's a pitch that is waved at and missed, and the count goes to 1-2. Last team standing in the NPB, undefeated, is the Marines, as they are trying to go to 4-0 on the year. The other 2 undefeated teams yesterday fell on the sword as the Fighters, who were undefeated, took the loss. And then over in the Central League. Trying to remember in my mind here, I think it was the Giants who took their loss yesterday. There's a pitch that's down. Good stop there by the catcher, Tamura, and it goes to 2-2 here on Tagu. I was, of course, away yesterday, so I didn't get a chance to catch up on all the other stuff. So 2 balls and 2 strikes as the right-hander ready to go again. The runner was on the move in that last one there. So it looks like we've got ourselves now runners at second and third. And takes the force out. There's a fastball swung on, is grounded over to third. Fielded neatly by Nishigaki. And he's going to throw to first, and that is going to retire Tagu on a ground out 5-3 for the third out of the inning. And that is going to do it here for the Buffaloes in their half of the inning. Well, they threaten, but they don't score. No runs in the inning, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left aboard. We're now moving to the bottom of the 6th inning. Coming to bat for the Marines will be Soto, Polanco, and Nakamura when we return. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us tonight on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after this. We got ourselves a 1-1 ball game as we're moving to the bottom of the 6th inning. We'll be back in just a couple moments. Appreciate you guys for listening in here with us tonight on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
That's right, everybody. You got to have an ace in the hole. It is going to be Satani coming out for the 6th inning of work. Soto, Polanco, and Nakamura. He faced the left-hander who is at 85 pitches. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0 to Neftali Soto. Soto was up to bat in the last half inning when Tomosuji got gunned down at the plate while the runner Nishikawa was trying to steal second. Breaking ball misses down, and the count now goes to 2-0 on Soto. So 2 balls and no strikes. Soto waggling the bat, waiting here on the offering from the lefty, who works himself to the set position. And here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count goes to 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. Soto's got a hit and 2 trips today. Had the single in the first inning. As the pitch misses inside, it's going to be ball 4. So Soto aboard on 4 straight pitches. That is going to bring up the designated hitter in Gregory Polanco. Polanco has struggled this afternoon. He has a flyout and a groundout. He is 4 for 14 now to start the year. But he is really dancing with danger. Here is Satani. As Polanco digs himself in, ready to face the lefty for the 3rd time today. Satani getting his sign from his catcher, Wakatsuki. And he works himself to the belt. Here comes the pitch. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses upstairs for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Polanco batting from the left side here against the left-handed throwing Satani. Checks the runner over at first. Here comes the pitch. Kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball waved at and missed, and the count now goes even to 1-1. By our count, Satani has walked 2 batters today, and he has allowed 4 Marine hits. So fairly effective so far in this one, especially if he can keep them off the board here in the 6th inning. And we can expect a battle of the bullpens the rest of the way. Here's the 1-1. Fastball swung on, popped up over in foul territory on the third base side, giving chase is Wakatsuki. He slides to his knee. Did he make the catch? No, he didn't. It just got away from him there. Well, good effort there by the catcher of the Buffaloes. It's going to run the count to 1-2 on Polanco. Ended up just into the dugout. It's a bit of a problem. If you've ever been to Chiba, the wind swirls. It's pretty close to being on the water. It's like the San Francisco of Japanese baseball, just the way that the players will really struggle with balls that get hit up into the air. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It's a fastball that misses outside, and the count now goes to 2-2 on Polanco. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As we say, the wind likes to swirl. It moves around a lot. It is a tough place to play. Again, the lefty Satani holds to the set, and here comes the pitch. 2-2 on the way. Breaking ball misses down, and the count now goes to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Polanco. Standing on deck is the second baseman Shogo Nakamura. So Marines are looking to punch another run across here. Here comes the payoff pitch. Satani kicks and delivers. Breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into right center field, but not deep enough, as coming over to make the catch is Nakagawa. And that is going to retire Polanco for the first out of the inning. So 1 gone here, and that'll bring up the second baseman Shogo Nakamura. Didn't quite get enough of that. Now I wonder if he had the torpedo bat, would he been able to send that a little further? I would think not. I think that was more caught up the end of the bat. So 1 gone here in the 6th inning, and Nakamura striding to the dish. 0 for 2 today, 0 for 7 to start the year. Well, where is he going to get his first hit? And the first pitch is a breaking ball that drops in for a call and strike. Count is 0-1. A little surprised to see Nakamura at second base tonight. Nakamura was the longtime second baseman of the Marines, and last season they moved him over to third. Pretty much spent most of the season over at third base. And now here he is back in his position that we were most accustomed to seeing him in. There's a fastball that is upstairs, and Nakamura unable to hold up on the delivery. The count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Again, the right-hander waggling the bat, waiting on the offering from the lefty. Holds it at the belt. And now he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on. Grounded over to third. They go to second for 1. Back to first. And the throw is above the first baseman, and it gets into the dugout. And if there's going to be a reason why the Buffaloes will lose this game tonight, it's going to be their errors. It's the 3rd error they've committed tonight. So Nakamura is going to reach on the error by the second baseman. So it'll be E4 on the throw. Fielder's choice erases Soto at second base. He's gone 5-4. So he's gone for the second out of the inning. It's going to bring up the third baseman, Masami Nishigaki. But some shoddy defense here for the Buffaloes. That's going to bring a conference out to the mound, as they're going to have a word with their left-hander here. I would have to think this is probably going to be either the last batter or the last inning that Satani will throw. He's at 98 pitches right now. So he's going to stay in the ball game, and Nishigaki will come to the plate, who is 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a double in 2 trips. His last at bat, he hook barreled the ball down the left field line into the corner. So the right-handed hitting Nishigaki coming to the plate. He is 3 for 12 to start the year. 1 for 2 tonight. So here comes the offering from the lefty, who works himself to the belt, checks the runners at second base, and here comes the pitch. It's on its way. It's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is 1-0. So Nakamura, the runner at second. The outfield is not that deep. I wouldn't need to say it's shallow. It's sort of midway. We want to try to throw a runner out at the plate should Nishigaki get himself a base hit here. Here comes the 1-0. He kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball down. It just squirts away from the catcher. Count goes to 2-0. We'll try to get our stream details up a little bit earlier for tomorrow's game. Haven't seen the forecast yet for the region in Tohoku. It looks like it's mostly cloudy tomorrow. So as I said, I'm going to try to do the earlier game, which would be 9 o'clock Pacific. As now they held the fingers up and they have put the runner over to first. So Nishigaki is going to get an intentional walk. It's going to bring Tamura to the plate. That's got runners at first and second. Not a bad decision. You're in the hole at 2-0. It's a good hitter's count. Let's bring the catcher up and see if you can possibly get him to bounce into a fielder's choice. All bags are now available as outs. So here comes the 101st pitch now to Tamura. Stanley delivers fastball swung on, lifted into straightaway center field, battling the wind, and coming up with it is Fukuda, and that is going to do it, as Tamura is going to be gone for the third out of the inning, and that will do it here for the Marines in their half of the sixth. No runs in the inning. There was no hits. There was an error, and there were 2 left aboard. Your scores were now through 6 complete. It is the Buffaloes 1 and the Marines 1. The back third of this ball game is just around the corner. Hope you guys can stay with us because it looks like it's a battle of the bullpens from here on out. And we'll be right back after these, or maybe after this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves now to the top of the 7th inning. It's supposed to be the bottom third of the batting order to come to bat, which means Oda, Wakatsuki, and Nishino. Our friend Caden says he's praying for the over 5.5. I got to be honest with you, Caden, you got to pray to the beer gods on this one because I think that you are in a whole host of not going to happen here. This way this game is going, I'm almost going to say the next run is going to win it. Looks like we do have ourselves a pitching change here, as it is going to be a right-hander coming in. And this is going to be number 56, Shinsuke Nakamori. So he is coming on in relief. As to replace Eugene Nishino, who had a pretty good ball game tonight, did Nishino. He was able to be very effective as needed. So this is going to be the replacement here, Shinsuke Nakamori. So 84 pitches for Nishino today, he faced 24 batters over his 6 innings work. That's not bad. He was able to be pretty effective. But again, going back to Caden, you never know what's going to happen. But I certainly think that you are in a whole host of trouble. The sand in the hourglass is starting to run a bit dry. So this brings Ryo Oda to the plate. He is officially 0 for 1 tonight. He's grounded to short and walked in his 2 trips. The first pitch on the way is a fastball swung on and lifted foul behind home plate. The count is 0-1. If we do that game tomorrow night, the early game between the Eagles and the Lions, then I would consider do some diamond surfing afterwards. In other words, bounce over and try to do the best I can to give you the finish of the Buffalo Marine game. Because I would assume that game with an hour head start should finish earlier. Fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count now is 0-2 to Oda. Either that or just set up a brand new stream and try to be able to give you guys the second stream in that. So no balls and 2 strikes as Oda waits here on the offering, and the pitch is on the way. It is a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. Picked up there by Tamura. He tags Oda, and he is in the books for the first out of the inning. 1 up and 1 away. And that is going to bring up the catcher in Kenya Wakatsuki. So Nakamori comes in, strikes out the first batter he faces. And now he faces the right-handed hitting Wakatsuki, who is officially 0 for 1 today. Swings at the first pitch and grounds that foul past the bag at third base, and the count is 0-1. Wakatsuki grounded to third. He also had a sacrifice bunt his last time up. Batting with that slightly open stance. Here comes the 0-1. And it is a fastball that swung on and fouled away, and the count now goes to 0-2. We were commenting on some of the styles of the hitters. He has really keeps his front foot up in the air a long time before he's able to get it down. And as Kotaro Kobayashi is doing similar. And there is a pitch that's down in the dirt, and the count now goes to 1-2. That last pitch was at 95 miles per hour. So a little bit more heat here from the reliever Nakamori. What we saw from the starter. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded softly down the third baseline. They're going to try to let it roll. And it is just going to roll foul past the bag at third. Oh, it got onto the dirt. And as soon as it got onto the dirt, it ended up making a left-hand turn. If it would have just hit the bag, then it would have stayed fair. And then Wakatsuki would have got himself a hit. But some good decision-making there by the third baseman. Watch it just go foul past the bag. And that is going to keep the count at 1-2 to Wakatsuki. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. We're going to do this all over again as the right-hander Nakamori delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on it. Another one lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it remains. Right-hander again working from the set despite nobody on. There's a fastball swung on. This is lined over the head of the second baseman in the right field. Cutting it off in center field is Takabe. He's going to fire it back in, and that is going to hold Wakatsuki to a 1-out single. That'll bring up the third baseman in Masahiro Nishino. Well, for Nishino, he's officially 0 for 2 tonight. So they got to try to get something going here. Do the Buffaloes. They too are running out of outs. As I said, my needle points towards the Marines for this one. There's a fastball that misses up and away for ball 1. Nishino tonight has grounded to third and grounded to short. He's 0 for 2. He's now 2 for 6 on the early going part of the season. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball center cut for a called strike. And the count now goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Shino getting his sign as he works himself to the set position, and here comes the 1-1 pitch. Fastball just misses outside, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Friend Nick in the house tonight. He says, just got home from work. He says, looking to observe a little late night action. Yeah, well, you got some action here. We are 1-1 in the top of the 7th. Both of these teams tonight have struggled at the plate offensively. The Buffaloes have tried to help the Marines as they've committed 3 errors tonight, and the Marines haven't been able to capitalize. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted in deep right field, and this ball is going to be gone. A 2-run homer off the bat of Masahiro Nishino, his first of the year. And just like that, Nick comes into the stream, and we got action. So stick around, Nick, because maybe we'll have some more of it. A 2-run shot off the bat of Nishino has put the Buffaloes up with a 3-1 lead. As Wakatsuki scores in front of him, that ball got out in a hurry. It was an absolute screamer. So now the score line is now 3-1. And so our friend Caden is pumping a fist. That brings up the top of the order in Kai Nakagawa. And he takes a first pitch breaking ball outside for a ball. The count is 1-0. And our friend Jimmy Redbeard says, let's go Buffaloes. As here's the fastball that misses upstairs, and the count goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Nakagawa 1 for 3 tonight. He's got a single. He scored the first run of the game for the Buffaloes. He's also struck out twice. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Fastball swung on and fouled straight back, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. As the right-hander again delivers, there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and now the count goes even to 2-2. Right-hander once again getting his sign from his catcher. And here comes the 2-2 pitch. As it's on its way, there is a breaking ball that just misses down and in. Count goes to 3-2. Well, as they say, it's never over till it's over. A little surprising here. The Buffaloes have now got themselves a 3-1 lead. Here is the 3-2 pitch. Fastball swung on. It has popped up over on the right side of the infield. Moving over underneath it is the first baseman, Soto. He's going to make the catch. It's going to retire Nakagawa for the second out of the inning, and it's going to leave it all up to the center fielder, Shuhei Fukuda. Well, for Fukuda, he is 0 for 2 tonight. He has he's grounded out. He has flown out to center, and he has a sacrifice bunt. And the first pitch is a breaking ball. It's taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Right-hander against the left-hander. As it is a fastball that swung on, and it's grounded foul over past the first base coach's box, and now the count goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Fukuda. A 3-1 lead for the Buffaloes here in the top of the 7th. As the pitch is on the way, it's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count now goes to 1-2. So a ball and 2 strikes. Again, the right-hander working himself to the set. Now the pitch on the way. Fastball swung on. Grounded over to first. Another nice play by Soto. He's going to win the race to the bag, and that's going to do it for out number 3. But there was damage done in the inning. A 2-run homer off the bat of Masahiro Nishino has given the Buffaloes a 3-1 lead. So 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, nobody left the board. The scores, we move to the bottom half of inning number 7. It is 3-1 for the Buffaloes. We'll be right back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. It's time for some Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Welcome back, everybody. The difference in this one now is a 2-run homer off the bat of Masahiro Nishino. It's given the Buffaloes a 3-1 lead. Still lots of ball to be played here as we move to the bottom of the 7th inning. It's the 9, 1, and 2 hitters slated to come to bat for the Marines. That means Tomosuji, Oka, and Nishikawa. Yeah, we do have a pitching change as the Buffaloes are going to their bullpen, as they are calling upon a right-hander here. It's going to be number 35. It's going to be Suryu Kotajima. Hope I've said that correctly. So Suryu Kotajima on in relief. Be the second pitcher used. The first time they're going to a right-hander, as it was the lefty Satani who had started this one. So Kotajima on in relief. And it looks like we may have a pinch hitter here for Tomosuji. We didn't get that number here. The first pitch is on the way. It's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count is 1-0. So for Chiba, their pinch hitter is number 10. This is Kyoto Ueda. So we'll have to adjust that here. So Ueda pinch hitting from the left side, and the pitch is a fastball that misses down and in. It's now 2-0. So Ueda is batting here with 2 balls and no strikes, and the pitch on the way. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right center field. This ball is going to get trouble. It's going to get down. It's going to get cut off by the center fielder who runs it down. Fukuda, he fires it back in. But it's going to be a pinch hit leadoff double here for Ueda to begin the bottom half of the 7th inning. So our friend Caden, who is with us here tonight, that is the tonic that you have ordered up. He needs a couple of more runs scored. That is going to bring up the right fielder, Hiromi Oka. So Oka coming to the plate. He is 0 for 2 tonight. He has struck out twice, but he's also walked and scored a run. As the pitch is on the way, it's a breaking ball swung on, and it's chopped foul over on the third base side. Count is 0-1. Caden says he can't go to sleep until the game ends. Rakesh is in the house. He says, who do you think's going to win? Well, if you go to our community page, Rakesh, we predict all the games tonight. Right now, we would have this one as a loss because we've got the Marines to win. Fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 0-2. The reason we picked this game is it is the home opener for the Marines. They're the last undefeated team standing in the NPB. But Buffaloes are giving them all they can handle here tonight. So no balls, 2 strikes as the right-hander holds set. And now he steps off the backside. We're going to do this all over again here. Rakesh says he's got $600 in Marines. That's who we would have leaned on here tonight. As I said, home opener for the Marines. Coming off a 3-0 road trip in Fukuoka. Feeling good about themselves. Here comes the 0-2 offering. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on and tap foul over on the third base side. He says, I think it's better to sell them then. I don't know if you're doing the live stuff. Possibly so. You're going to not be able to capture much here. I don't know what they would give you. But you never know. It's late here. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. You would have that runner at second to at least cut one back. And the pitch is on the way. It's a fastball that misses upstairs. That's going to run the count to 1-2. Last pitch was at 90 miles an hour on our gun. Don't forget, everybody, to bookmark the channel, as we will be back on tomorrow night. We'll do the early one between the Lions and the Eagles, weather permitting. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Kick and deliver. It's a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. And Oka is in the books for the third time tonight via the strikeout. Entered the game tonight 5 for 7 on the season. And he has struck out 3 times here tonight. And that'll bring up the left fielder in Misho Nishikawa. Well, Nishikawa tonight has reached base twice. He reached on an error in the third, and he had a single in the fifth. He's also struck out tonight. 4 for 16 is the right-handed hitting left fielder of the Marines. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball swung on his chop right back to the pitcher. They check the runner back to second. They throw to first, and Nishikawa is gone on a ground out 1-3. He's in the books for out number 2. And that is going to bring up the center fielder in Akito Takabe. So for Takabe, he's officially 0 for 2 tonight. He reached on an error by the catcher in the first inning, struck out, and he had a sacrifice suicide squeeze, or more of a safety squeeze, to bring home the only run for the Marines so far in this one. So here comes the first pitch to Takabe. I have to say, though, this reliever, Kojima, really takes a long time in the stretch. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. Caden says he'd cash out right now. Yeah, well, that probably is better, more of a better option now, because with the runner at second base here and now 2 out, a little harder to cash this run in. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 1-1 in Takabe. Jiffy Bacon says 5.5 runs isn't going to happen. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. CB asked the question, what do you think about, I assume that's Hosmer, not Homser, accusations about Roki. There was a fastball that misses up. Count is 2-1. I haven't seen him. Since I come back from Seattle, I've been kind of out of the loop a little bit here. Even though I was down basically 2 days, it feels like I've been gone a month. So I really didn't catch up on a lot of stuff there, CB. So here comes the 2-1 pitch as the right-hander holds set. checks the runner, now delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count goes to 3-1. Caden says there's still a chance. Yeah, just like the guys in Dumb and Dumber said, there's still a chance. They were wanting to date one of those gals. So 3 balls and 1 strike. As the right-hander holds to the set, here comes the pitch. It's on its way. It's a fastball that catches to Cabby at the knees, and the count goes to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. So here comes the 3-2 pitch as the right-hander holds at the belt. Checks the runner at second. And now delivers. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses down and away. It's going to be ball 4. So Takabi's going to get himself a walk. That's going to bring Neftali Soto to the plate. And if you're Caden who's listening in here, Neftali Soto is in scoring position when he walks up to the dish. So we're going to see how this will play out here in a moment. Yeah, there it is. Eric Hosmer talking about his unique observations when he was pulled after an inning and 2/3 at his debut. Insinuating that he had a banned substance on his hand. Interesting. 61 pitches. I've got a conference on the mound here. It is a conference of Buffaloes, I think is what it is. That is for sure. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. And sorry, it's 3-1 here as the runner Takabi had walked. So Takabi's at first. The runner at second is Ueda. It's going to bring Soto to the plate. It doesn't get any easier as you got Gregory Polanco on deck. So I guess the question would be is, I have to see. Brian Sandberg says he's crashed out of the machine or out of the Marines. Well, we'll see what happens if Soto puts it into the seats. You got a different situation. There's a breaking ball that's thinking for a called strike. The count is 0-1. And our friend Drew is still hoping for the under 5.5. Brian says, does anyone know why there's so few few runs? Well, first of all, look at your home run totals and your leaders from last year. I don't know if there were more than 2 players in all the NPB at 30 or more bombs last year. Fastball misses upstairs, and the count goes to 1-1 on Soto. Second thing is I don't want to say they can't hit. That's a bit unfair, but you just don't have a lot of guys who can put the ball into the seats. It's really reliance on the domestic players. Outside of Murakami and Yamakawa, it's a little bit dry of the Japanese standard. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. On its way, breaking ball misses down and away, and the count is 2-1. And when you look at the Central League, they still use pitchers to hit. So you put a pitcher in the batting order, it takes a bat out of your lineup. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Soto. The Marines are trailing 3-1 here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. If it's now or never in some regards, I'm not sure what they'll be able to do if the Buffaloes keep them at bay here. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses inside. It's now 3-1. And Gregory Polanco looms large on deck. So Marines are not out of the woods here yet. As we said, it's their opening day or their home opener. It was originally slated to be yesterday. But with the game washed out yesterday, they are playing it here today. So 3 balls and 1 strike to Soto as the right-hander holds to the set. Here comes the pitch. Kicks and fires. It's a fastball swung on. It is grounded through the 6 hole into left field. That's going to get a run in. And Soto has driven in the second run here as Ueda is going to come around from second base to score. RBI single off the bat of Soto, his second hit of the night. And Takabe is going to advance the base over to second. And it is now a 3-2 ball game. And it doesn't get any easier as Gregory Polanco is making his way to the plate. So 3-2 Buffaloes have the lead here. Our friend Caden's jumping up and down. He is pretty excited now about this. So here we go. Here comes Polanco to the plate. Polanco tonight, tough night at the office. He's 0 for 3. He's flown out twice, and he is grounded out. 4 for 15 now on the season, and there's a first pitch fastball that misses outside for ball one. So he's already in a good hitter's count. Get him anything over the plate. He can get his arms extended. He can do a lot of damage here. So 1 ball and no strikes to Gregory Polanco. The crowd is in full form right now. Pretty impressive stuff going on here for the Marines. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It is popped up. It's behind home plate, giving chase, but watching it sail into the seats is Wakatsuki. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike right now to Gregory Polanco. So Polanco waggling the bat here, ready for the offering here from the right-hander who works himself to the set. And they spin and feign a throw to second base. But getting back in time is the base runner in Takabe. A base hit here, then they're going to have to try to throw the runner at the plate. The outfield is in a little bit shallow, as they do have to try to throw that runner out. So here comes the 1-1 pitch as the right-hander works to the set. Again, they're jockeying with Takabe at second base. The pitch on the way is a fastball that just misses inside. It's now 2 balls and a strike to Polanco. Jiffy Bacon says, why isn't Polanco in the MLB? Great question. I'll address that. I got a chance to see him play last year for the Marines. The easiest answer I could give you is in the latter part of his stages in the MLB is he couldn't stay healthy. Breaking ball misses upstairs. It's now 3-1. Shogo Nakamura waiting his turn on deck. He bounced around after the Pirates. I know he was with the Blue Jays for a bit. I can't remember. He was with a couple other teams as well. But you go back about 10 years ago and the Pittsburgh Pirates with Starling Marte, Gregory Polanco, and Andrew McCutchen was considered to be the best outfield in baseball. And boy, did that fizzle quick. There's a breaking ball that misses down and in. It's going to be ball 4. Polanco is going to get himself a walk. That's going to load the bases. Advancing to third is Takabe. Over to second is Soto. It's going to bring Shogo Nakamura to the plate with the bases loaded and 2 gone. So Kodajima's got himself in a whole host of trouble at this point. And one would have to think this is going to be his last batter one way or the other. Jiffy says they need a pitching change. And now it looks like we're going to have a full-on conference on the mound as the catcher Wakatsuki has come out to calm him down. But no, nothing right now. It looks like it was just the fielders talking over what they needed to do. So bases are full here. 3-2, the Buffaloes have the lead. Our friend Caden here needs a run to come across. Why do I think this game could either end 3-2 or 4-3? So the right-hander, Kotajima, getting his sign from his catcher, Wakatsuki. He holds set at the belt. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Outfield is a bit shallow. Infield is in normal depth. Force play is in effect at every base. Here comes the 1-0 pitch as the right-hander holds set. Kicks and fires. Fastball swung on and missed. Now the count goes even to Nakamura at 1-1. Nakamura yet to get a hit in today's ball game. He's flown to left, grounded to the pitcher, and reached on an error by the second baseman. So officially 0 for 3 tonight, 0 for 8 on the season, looking for his first hit. And after all that rain, after all that wind, looks like the sun is trying to come out in Chiba. Will it shine on Nakamura? Here comes the pitch. And it's on its way. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count goes to 1-2. Yeah, pretty amazing that they're going to get some sunshine, late afternoon sunshine. That's exactly what it looks like in Chiba here. Just past the 4 o'clock hour in Chiba. 1 ball and 2 strikes as the right-hander holds set. And here comes the pitch. Kicks and delivers. Breaking ball swung on, lifted into straightaway center field. This should be playable. Moving over underneath it is Fukuda. And Nakamura has been snake bitten yet again. He has flown out to center field for the 3rd out of the inning. Well, they get a run back to the Marines. They had 1 run in the inning on the benefit of 2 hits. There was no errors, and there were 3 runners left aboard. We'll be right back in just a few as we are now through 7 complete. Your score is the Buffaloes 3 and the Marines 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit. We appreciate you guys for jumping in. Titus, you're late to the party, but we're glad you're here. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. The Buffaloes are clinging to a 3-2 lead. As we move to the top of the 8th inning, it'll be Nishikawa, Sugimoto, and Kobayashi to come to the plate. As we are just checking here to see exactly if the Marines are going to make another move to the bullpen. It was Neftali Soto, who has enjoyed a nice night at the office tonight. 2nd hit of the night. He's reached base 3 times, and he had an RBI. So that was pretty interesting for him. Looks like they are going to keep the right-hander in the ball game, as this is Nakamura working his 2nd inning here. And the first pitch on the way is a fastball taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1 to Nishikawa. Nishikawa has 2 hits and 3 trips, hitting .467 in the regular season. Pitch on the way. It is a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-1. If I remember correctly, he was hitting like something like .050 exhibition season. So Nakamura ready to deliver again. There is a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Nishikawa. Yutaro Sugimoto and Kobayashi to follow here for the Buffaloes in their 8th. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on, and it's fouled. Whoa, right off the thigh of the catcher. Right in the spot where you have zero protection, which is between his left knee and his hip. And that's my criticism of the catcher's catching off of one knee. He was down on his left knee. The foul tip came, boom, right into the spot. You're not protected in the quad. That'll leave a mark. There's a fastball swung on. This ball's lined over the head of the third baseman down the left field line into the corner. And it is going to be Nishikawa digging for 2. The throw is going to be offline. And he is going to be safe with a stand-up double, his 3rd hit of the night. Absolutely smoked it the other way. Stayed inside the ball, got it off the end of the bat. Nice effort there by the third baseman to try to crawl the ladder by Shigaki, but he wasn't able to haul that one in. It looks like that is the end of the line here for Nishikawa. Looks like we're going to have a pinch runner for him. So a pinch runner for the Buffaloes. We'll get that for you. It is going to be number 30, Taishi Haruka. So one veteran running for the other. That brings Yutaro Sugimoto to the plate. And the first pitch to Sugimoto is a breaking ball for a called strike. Count is quickly 0-1. Sugimoto tonight 1 for 3. He's got a single, a stolen base in 3 trips. As the pitch here ready to come from the right-hander Nomori. There is a fastball that is swung through and missed, and the count is 0-2. The bare minimum here, I know he's the 4-hole hitter. All you got to do is hit the ball and get it the other way, but even a bunt could do the same. I know you don't want to, but I know it's not traditional baseball having your 4-hole hitter bunt. The Japanese, it doesn't seem to bother them at all. And so in this situation, you kind of wonder why. And there is a breaking ball that's waved at and missed. Sugimoto's in the books. He's gone for the first out of the inning. Got to say, he did not look good on that pitch. So he is gone for the first out. That's going to bring Kentaro Kobayashi to the plate. Well, for Kobayashi, he's had a couple of hits tonight in 3 trips. He's also driven in a run. He is 8 for 16 to start the year. So Kobayashi with a slightly open stance, really tall presence at the plate. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. 1 ball and no strikes. All the other games in the NPB go off later this morning. We won't be around for those ones, but there is the full slate here tonight. As that pitch is a fastball that catches the inside corner. Count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on, grounded over to short. Fielded neatly by Tomosuji. He throws to first, and Kobayashi's in the books on a ground out, 6-3. So 2 at-bats, 1 by Sugimoto, 1 by Kobayashi, and neither one either able to advance the runner or to bring him home. You got to think that's got to be frustrating. Looks like we're going to have a conference on the mound here. And another mound visit here to the right-hander Nomori. But it is going to be Yuma Tongu slated to come to the plate. Let's see if Tongu can find a way to pick up his teammates. 3-2 Buffaloes clinging to the lead, looking for some insurance here. Any which way that they can. 3 games go off at the 2 o'clock hour Pacific time, 5 a.m. Eastern if you're in North America, or at 1800 Japan time. Those games will all be in the Central League. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. It'll be Yamano going at home for the Swallows against Osera for the Carp. Yamazaki will get the start on the road against Yuya Yanagi of the Dragons. Here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball that catches the outside corner for called strike. Count is 1-1. And at the Koshin Stadium in Osaka, it'll be Jeremy Beasley will take to the hill against Shinichi Onuki. And at 18:30 local time, 2:30 a.m. Pacific or 5:30 a.m. Eastern, will be the Hawks and the Fighters as that pitch is swung on and lifted foul, and the count goes to 1-2. Koki Kitayama will go for the Fighters against Jun Maeda of the Hawks. We won't be around for that one, but be interested to see how that one will go. Our friend Caden says he's sweating it out at 3:30 in the morning. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Fastball down. Great stop there by the catcher Tamura. Running the count to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, the right-hander ready to go again. Checks his sign from his catcher Tamura. Mori works himself to the set. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side. Count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wet Dog Nose says, I need the Marines to pull off a miracle. Well, see if miracles happen. 2-2 on the way. Breaking ball misses down and in. Count now goes to 3-2. Was it in Major League Baseball? I think it was the Miami Marlins walked off their first 3 wins of the year, all in the bottom of the 9th. Walk off, walk off, walk off. Well, maybe that's what you're going to get here. Just have to stick around and find out. Here comes the 3-2 pitch to Tongu. On its way, breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into deep left field. Moving back onto the warning track and backpedaling with the catch is the left fielder who hauls it in. A nice catch there by Nishikawa. And that is going to do it here as Tongu is gone for the 3rd out of the inning. So they squander a double in the inning to lead it off the bat of Ryoma Nishikawa. A Sugimoto strikeout, a ground out by Kobayashi, and a flyout by Tongu, not able to cash a run. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left the board. We're moving to the bottom half of inning number 8. Marines have got 6 outs to try to get 1. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us on the Last Routes Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back after this. You are listening to live NPB commentary with Last Routes Baseball. Be sure to check out our podcast, The Japan Baseball Report, either on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to join our Facebook group as well. It is NPB Japan Baseball Report. Stay up to date with all the other followers who are a fan of the Japanese game. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the bottom half of inning number 8. It's going to be the bottom third of the batting order to come to bat for the Marines. Nishigaki, Kitamura, and Ueda is slated to hit here. We'll have to do a double check. I do believe Ueda stayed in the ball game, as he did to come into play at third base. They did make a couple of moves, as the shortstop is now Ishigaki, moved over from third base. Well, we do have a pitching change on the mound, as it is going to be Luis Perdomo coming on for the Buffaloes. That's the problem, is Perdomo and Machado to close this out could be really, really difficult. The first pitch is a fastball that just misses inside, and the count is 1-0 to Nishigaki. So Perdomo is the one on in relief. There's a fastball that misses down and away. Count now goes to 2-0. Perdomo, the big, hard throwing right-hander. As he works himself to the set position, and the pitch is on the way. It's a fastball that misses up and in. Count now goes to 3-0. So that is exactly what the Marines need. They need some base runners for sure. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count goes to 3-1. I need to get some base runners, and that's how you get things started. You just need 1 to tie and 2 to take the lead. Pitch on the way is a fastball at the knees, taken for a called strike. Shigaki can't believe it. This is the second season that Perdomo's with the Buffaloes. He began his career with Chiba, the 2023 season, at least in the Japanese league. Fastball swung on, grounded up the middle, and it gets through a diving shortstop Kirby-Ashi into center field. It's going to be a base hit here for Nishigaka. So this is going to be interesting. You got Tamura coming to the plate. Are they going to try to nickel and dime it? Looks like we're going to have a runner here for Nishigaki, as his night is going to be over. Ball had eyes as it got past the shortstop, who was diving to his left. That is slated to bring up Tatsuhiro Tamura. Pitch runner now in the game, and it looks like it is Ogawa who is in to run. I didn't quite get the number, but that's who it looks like. Already squaring to bunt here is Tamura. Yeah, it is number 57, Ryusi Ogawa, who has come in to run. And squaring to bunt here, Tamura, and it's a fastball inside, and he pops it up. That one's just going to go foul. Oh, boy. Thing ran inside and almost blew up his top hand. I can tell you, that might have been one of the faster pitches I've seen Perdomo throw. Oh, boy. I don't like where you hold the bat there, Tamura. If you don't change how you grip the bat, you're going to have some busted fingers. It's hard to throw on your throwing hand. You wrap the fingers around the bat. That's not good technique. So no balls and 1 strike to the Chiba catcher. He's already squaring again. Pitch on the way. It's taken for a called strike. It was a breaking ball, and Tamura had pulled back. So I have to say, where the Japanese are concerned, they generally play great fundamental baseball, but this is not what we call great fundamental baseball here. Got to get the job done and able to do it with his bunts. So if I'm the Marines, I'm making do it again. Tamura trying to find a way to get the runner over to second base, whatever he's got to do. Our friend What Dog Knows says, who am I rooting for? Don't really care. There's a squares to bunt. He pulls back. He slashes over to second. Oh, my goodness. That has got to be some boneheaded base running right there. You bring in the pinch runner to run. He's running for a reason. And Ogata runs himself into the tag. As the slash was on, they pulled back. The ball was grounded to the second baseman. Second baseman applies the tag to the runner, throws it to first, and we got a double play here. It's going to be a 4-3 double play. That is rough. So Nishigaki, the runner, Ogata for the first out. Second out was Tamura, and it's the first pitch delivered to Ueda is taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Ueda doubled and scored a run his last time up, and he chops this one down the first base line. Fielded by the first baseman, Tagu, who steps on the bag, and that is going to do it. It's going to be a ground out to 3 for the third out of the inning. Unbelievable. We're going to the top of the ninth inning. Your score is the Buffaloes 3 and the Marines 2. No runs, a hit, no errors, and nobody left the board in the bottom of the eighth. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you guys. Hang tight. You're listening to the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. And we got quite a bit more to go for you here. Here is our friend Steve Rademacher. We only run a couple of Steves tonight. But this one here, he'll keep you entertained.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OP-Chi baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Welcome back, everybody. It is a pitching change here for the Marines. It's going to be Fumiya Ono who is coming on in relief. There's still a lot of baseball left here. He's just going to start his warm-up tosses. So we're going to take another 30 seconds to collect ourselves, and we'll be back in just a couple moments. Appreciate you guys for hanging with us tonight on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters to come to bat. That's Oda, Wakatsuki, and Nishino. And so Oda, Wakatsuki, and Nishino will come to bat here in the top half of inning number 9 as they are set to face the right-hander Ono. And the first pitch is a fastball swung on and tap foul over on the third base side. Count is quickly 0-1. Oda tonight 0 for 2 in his 3 trips. He's also drawn a walk. He grounded out and struck out tonight. As the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and now the count goes to 0-2 on Oda. We're here in the top of the 9th inning. Buffaloes clinging to a 3-2 lead over the Marines. Marines are the only or last undefeated team standing in the NPB, so that record is on the line here. Pitch is a breaking ball that I'm not sure where that missed, but the home plate umpire said it did. Count runs to 1-2. Certainly the catcher Tamura thought it was strike 3. But on further review, that's probably a decent call. Looked like it was off of the outside corner significantly. As I say, I don't always get the normal view. There's a fastball taken for a called third strike. That was right at the knees on the outside corner. Not sure what Oda was looking for, but he's gone for the first out of the inning. And is going to bring up the catcher, Kenya Wakatsuki. Well, for Wakatsuki, he is officially 1 for 2 tonight. 2 for 11 now on the season. He also had a sacrifice bunt. There is a breaking ball that just misses low, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Waiting his turn on deck is the hero of the game so far, and that is Masahiro Nishino. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count goes to 2-0. What Dog Knows says, who are we cheering for? Or am I a fan of the automatic strike ball system that they're testing? You know what? I kind of not. I'm not a big fan of this stuff. It seems like we're trying to play a real-life video game. Fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 2-1. You know, I was thinking about it the other day that the umpires, they go to video review and they still get the call wrong. And then you get all this controversy and this havoc, or they don't interpret something right. Fastball taken at the knees for a called strike, and the count's now 2-2 to Wakatsuki. So, baseball, there's errors on the offensive side. There's tons of errors, game of failure. And the umpires are not allowed to fail. That's the crazy part. Breaking ball swung on it, is lifted into center field. Camping out underneath it and making the catch is the center fielder Takabe, and that's going to retire Wakatsuki for the second out of the inning. 2 gone. That brings up Masahiro Nishino to the plate. And for Nishino, he is the star so far of this one. He had the 2-run homer in the 7th to break the 1-1 deadlock. As he comes to the plate here, 1 for 3 tonight, 3 for 7 on the season. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, and it's a breaking ball from Ono that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. Redbeard says, you calling one of the 5 a.m. games? No, I'll be getting up at 5 a.m. There's a fastball that misses up and away. Count is 2-0. What Dog Knows says it's so much better, makes tennis so much better. Wasn't a fan of the system at first, but now you don't want to go to the backline judges. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. It's now 2-1. Just the speed of which it takes place, though, you know, I have to say probably the one thing in tennis that it has done is brought down the level of the arguments. I remember John McEnroe back in the day. He loved a good argument. Fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 2-2 on Nishino. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th inning, it'll be the top of the order coming to bat for the Marines. And one would have to think it'll be a steady diet of Machado. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and that is going to do it. Nishino's in the books for the 3rd out of the inning. And they go quietly in order to the Buffaloes here in their 9th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board. Your score is the Buffaloes 3 and the Marines 2. Stick around, everybody. The bottom of the 9th inning, just around the corner. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us tonight on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. Right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Andres Machado coming in to close this one out if he can. It's his 2nd appearance of the year. He's got a win and a save He's given up 1 run in 2 innings of pitched in his 2 appearances against the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. Well, he's going to be entrusted to have to retire Oka, Nishikawa, and Takabe, the top of the order for the Marines in this one. The hard-throwing right-hander ready to get things going here in the 9th inning. So Oka, Nishikawa, and Takabe to come to bat to face him here. Our friend Caden says that the baseball gods are listening. He needs somebody to get a point here. Well, you heard what I said earlier, Caden, and I said probably not going to happen. Well, kind of hope it does for you, but I'm sure there's others who hope it doesn't. The first pitch is a fastball swung through and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Oka. Oka has not had a solid game today. He did walk and score a run in the 3rd, but he has struck out 3 times. And so here comes the offering from the right-hander Machado, who kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that just misses off the inside corner. That pitch there came in at 98 miles an hour on the gun. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Rakesh says the Marines are going to win for sure. We shall see is correct. 1-1 on the way. It's a split finger pitch and misses down. The count is 2-1. Well, maybe Rakesh got the script before the game started. Who knows? So 2 balls and 1 strike it is to Oka. Nishikawa and Takabe to follow here. Pitch on the way. Fastball catches the outside corner for a called strike. The count is 0-2. As we said, Oka has struck out 3 times tonight. Hoping he's not going to put another one in the books. Don't forget, as a reminder, tomorrow night, 9 Pacific, midnight Eastern, it'll be Eagles and Lions, and then we'll do some diamond surfing. We'll call the rest of this game. Of course, if the other game is done first. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fastball misses down. It's now gone to 3-2. Rakesh wants to know what Nick thinks in here. I'll tell you what Nick thinks. Nick wants good baseball. So here comes the 3-2 offering as the right-hander again works himself to the set position. Kicks and fires. It's a fastball that just misses low. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Let's get to take a look at this one here. Did the umpire go up with the right hand? No, he checked that one off. It got foul tip a piece of it, so it keeps the count at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. It remains here to Oka. So Machado looking to put away. Nice piece of hitting there by Oka to stay alive. Fastball swung on, lifted into straightaway center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. So just like that, the Marines have life here with Oka aboard with a leadoff single. That is going to bring up the left fielder Nishikawa to the plate. Or is it? A manager may be looking to make a substitution here. It is certainly going to bring the batter runner Oka out of the game. Oka, I'm not sure why they wouldn't pinch run him. He's fairly decent. So a base hit here, a leadoff single, and just like that, the Marines have life. Top of the 9th inning, Buffaloes clinging to a 3-2 lead. Yep, Marines have their last wraps right now. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on. It is bled on the ground over to second. They're going to have to hurry, and they do, and that is going to retire the batter runner there. That would be Nishikawa is going to be gone. It's going to go down as a ground out 4-3, but advancing over to second is the pinch runner for Oka. Didn't get the number there. It looks like it is number 63. I think that's Wada. That's Kashira Wada who is running. And this is going to bring Takabe to the plate. So Cabby stepping to the plate here. He is officially tonight 0 for 2. He has reached on an error, struck out, had a sacrifice bunt that brought home a RBI. There was an RBI that brought home the run. It was a squeeze play, and he was also drawn a walk as he swung at the first pitch and fouled it away, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Runner is in scoring position here with 1 gone here in the 9th inning. Machado looking to try to seal the deal. Here comes the 0-1. Fastball swung on and fouled away, and now the count goes to 0-2. That last pitch was at 98. And I think if I'm Machado, I'm not wasting any time. I want to come inside on the hands on a fastball here. He can do that and get himself a strike here. That would be a big favor for him, and it would be put 2 in the books. So here comes the 0-2 pitch. Instead, they call for a fastball upstairs, and it swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 0-2 to Cabby. So no balls and 2 strikes as the right-hander ready to go again. He gets the sign from his catcher. He works himself to the belt. He checks the runner over at second base. And here's the pitch. It's a fastball that misses down and away. Count is 1-2 to Cabby. Anthony Gonzalez in the chat. Anthony, just take a look at the ticker down at the bottom. You'll know exactly what the score is. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Cabby. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, it's a fastball swung on and it's fouled right at the feet of the hitter. 1 ball and 2 strikes it remains. We are in the bottom half of the 9th inning, and your score is 3-2 for the Buffaloes. So the final at bats here for the Marines. There is extra innings. If this game does get tied up, we will go extras. Fastball misses inside. It's now 2-2 to Cabby. Waiting on deck is Neftali Soto, who drove a run in his last time up to the plate. So here comes the 2-2 pitch as the right-hander again works himself into the set position. Pitch on the way, fastball that swung on and fouled away. What Dog Nose says they only go 2 extras. No, they go 3 extra innings. They go to the 12th inning as that pitch was fouled away. Count remains at 2-2 to Cabby. 3 extra innings to be played and potentially to be played. If it goes 3 innings and it's still tied, then the game ends in a tie. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. As the right-hander holds set, he checks the runner again, Wada at second. And again, he checks him and he delivers. It's a fastball that misses way outside. Nice stop there by the catcher, Wakatsuki. That had the backstop as its final destination. If he didn't have to reach out there to make that grab. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. The runner at second base is Wada. There is 1 gone here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Machado in a tough pressure situation here. He's got Neftali Soto on deck. Buffaloes clinging to that 3-2 lead. I have to say, though, I don't necessarily mind tie games, and I don't necessarily mind the extra innings stopping at 12 in the regular season. I'd rather have that than the ghost runner. Here's the 3-2. Fastball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line. Count remains at 3-2. As we mentioned, we'll be back on the stream tomorrow night. So if you're around tomorrow, do the early game, but we'll stick around and we'll also do the little bit of diamond surfing as this game will probably be not finished. Here comes the 3-2 pitch as the right-hander holds set. Machado delivers, fastball swung on, lifted into left field. Not deep enough, moving back underneath it and making the grab is Haruka, and he fires that back in. And now the Marines are down to their final out. So with Wada, the runner at second, it's Neftali Soto striding to the plate here. Soto has 2 hits in his 4 trips. He's officially 2 for 3 and a walk. He has reached base 3 times tonight. So Soto getting himself dug in. Ready to face the first offering from Machado. I have to say, Machado, he can really bring it up there. He's in the upper 90s for sure. So here comes the first offering. Fastball at the knees for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Marine fans trying to will their home team on to victory. They are the last undefeated team in the NPB, and they are down to their final out. So no balls and 1 strike. Soto waiting here from the offering from the right-hander Machado. He checks the runner at second. Now delivers. Fastball swung on and missed. Absolutely overmatched on that pitch was Soto, and the count now goes to 0-2. So not only are they down to their final out, they're now down to their final strike, as the crowd is trying to cheer Soto on. Wada gets his lead over at second base. Getting the signals from his catcher is Machado. The 0-2 pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and grounded foul just past the bag at third base, and the count remains at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Caden says he's not going to be happy if he strikes out. Well, you never know. This is why we play the game. So no balls and 2 strikes. Soto's going to have to battle here. And the pitch on the way, it's spiked up to the plate, and the count goes to 1-2. Playing basketball with it was Machado. So 1 ball and 2 strikes is Soto. Give Machado a battle here. He's looking to tie the ball game. A base hit into the outfield. There's a chance that they could tie the ball game with the speed of Wada. I like those odds. Got to put the ball in play. Here comes the 1-2 pitch as Machado works himself to the belt. Checks the runner at second. And the pitch is on the way. It's a fastball swung on and missed. And Soto's in the books for the 3rd out of the inning. And the Buffaloes have knocked off the last undefeated team in the NPB 3-2 here tonight. No runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors, and there was a 1 runner stranded aboard. Your final score was the Buffaloes 3 and the Marines 2. Stick around, everybody. We're going to come back and wrap this one up for you before we call it a night. Appreciate everybody for hanging in with us tonight. Don't forget, we'll be back on the same airwaves tomorrow, 9 Pacific, midnight Eastern. It'll be Eagles and Lions, but we'll do some diamond surfing to catch this one by the end. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a few to wrap it up.
You are listening to live NPB commentary with Last Raps Baseball. Be sure to check out our podcast, The Japan Baseball Report, either on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to join our Facebook group as well. It is NPB Japan Baseball Report. Stay up to date with all the other followers who are a fan of the Japanese game.
Welcome back, everybody. We'll do a recap of this one, and we'll put it to rest tonight, as this is the only game that went on tonight in the NPB. Other games will get going later, but this is the only one that is now a final. Well, the Marines opened the scoring in the 3rd inning. With 1 out, it was a walk to Hiromi Oka, and after an error by the 3rd baseman Masahiro Nishino allowed Misho Nishikawa to reach base, up-stepped Akito Takabe with runners on the corners, and he dropped a perfect sacrifice bunt to score Hiromi Oka with the first run of the game, and they were up 1-0. The Buffaloes came back in their half of the 4th, a single by Kai Nakagawa after a sacrifice off the bat of Shuhei Fukuda, It was a single by Haruka, and then a 2-out single by Kobayashi that brought home Nakagawa with the first run of the game for the Buffaloes. So the game stayed 1-1 for quite a while, and that went all the way until the 7th inning. In the top half of the 7th, with 1 out, it was a base hit single by Kenya Wakatsuki, and he was brought home on a 2-run homer off the bat of Masahiro Nishino to make the scoreline 3-1. Well, the Marines weren't dead yet. They had a leadoff double in the bottom of the 7th off the bat of from Kyoto Ueda. And then after a strikeout and a groundout, there was a walk to Takabe, and up stepped Neftali Soto, and he singled home the runner Ueda with the second run of the game for the Marines. And your final score then was the Buffaloes 3 and the Marines 2. Well, everybody, we once again appreciate you guys for hanging in here tonight. Hopefully we can catch you guys tomorrow night when you are with us. 3-2 Buffaloes over the Marines is the final. And now there are no more teams that are undefeated in the NPB. We hope you guys had a great night. Appreciate all the action in the chat. Once again, we look forward to seeing you tomorrow night on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. Come on back and see us again. Have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you again soon.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.